Go for it, John.
Happy 10th birthday to the Couch Co-op Podcast, a decade of gaming adventures, camaraderie, and endless fun. To celebrate this milestone, we're diving into the ultimate gaming topic, our top 5 favorite games of all time. Get ready to reminisce about the games that have left an everlasting impact on us. But as we celebrate this milestone, we also look to the future. Join us as we ponder the future of the Couch Co-op. What exciting adventures lie ahead? What new gaming experiences await us? Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey over the past decade. Here's to many more years of gaming excitement, laughter, and unforgettable memories with the Couch Co-op Podcast. Let's raise a glass and dive to the next chapter of our gaming adventure together.
Cheers.
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags.
Play it on loop.
Couch Co-op.
Yeah, we'll be replaced by AI.
Yeah, there's enough information on us on
We sat
Twitter
right
to
behind
copy
Bob.
us. Yeah.
Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, and John wasn't lying. This is the 10-year anniversary of our show. I guess it's or maybe it's the 10-year birthday of the show and the 10-year anniversary of us collectively being together on the show. A decade of us, mainly Jared and I obviously starting, but everyone was involved in this grand machine. A decade of this stupid podcast. Is that
Couch Co-op is full of douchebags.
is that crazy to think about?
Yeah, that's pretty wild how we started it out and all the guests we had at the start, just one on
Once
the
in a
side.
while.
You know,
I was
bringing in a few
14 when this
people.
podcast started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, this started out with just Jared and I in my front room with the little mixer, and I think we held the microphones. It's pretty silly. And then the amount of just the changes we've gone through in doing this show. And I think it was interesting today. We can maybe Dave and John can quickly talk about it because we were at the Super Stream earlier today. But John pointed out that this has been probably our longest and most consistent run. You know, because we've done a lot of and then kind of taken a break and done a lot and taken a break. But I feel like he's right. I think this is the longest amount of time we've been consistently doing the show, and I feel like it's probably the healthiest the show's been. So
Yeah.
But,
So what, like a 2-3 year run?
something like that. Maybe longer.
Yeah.
I feel like it started out of COVID.
About
I think
pandemic.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
pandemic. That's when we changed the format, and then we haven't
'cause
really
I think
stopped.
I came to your place like probably like 2-3 months before that all happened, when you were actually holding it live at your house.
Oh, right. And Scott, I think, was still around then.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scott was there. I know Brad was there. I mean, not that
wow.
That was like the Final Fantasy Rebirth episode, I think.
maybe, or it was like top games from 20.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that might have been true too.
I can't remember, but
Whenever I think of Brad being on the show, I think of the samurai game you guys reviewed together, and he was like in a busy bar, and all you could hear was just like the ambiance of the bar
Yeah.
around him.
What was that?
Tsushima?
Oh, was it Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah,
Huh.
I think so.
Yeah, it's
That's
been
wild.
It's been
Yeah, that was fun.
when you look back on it. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys have any kind of feelings? I kind of wanted to like your thoughts. I don't know. We can go around the room, Jared, or Nick has some thoughts. I just want to like get your. Usually, what I do is I like have people send some clips, and we kind of do something stupid. But I was like, I wanted to like, get some. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't have any grand thoughts about it.
You didn't want to herd cats this time.
Well, I also wanted to try something different, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nick, you had some thoughts.
I just.
I thought Nick said.
No,
Always wants to play.
I mean, just more from my personal experience, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to the couch overall. I mean, it's just funny going from somebody who started listening, I think probably 2018, even before I had, like, where I had this debate, like, should I get an Xbox? Should I get a PS4? I wound up getting a PS4 because of you guys. And now I'm actually kind
Regretting
of on
that
here.
choice.
Yeah. Now he feels terrible about spending that
Yeah,
money.
not only that, it's like, wow, I have
You're
another piece of electronics that I get to collect games on.
There you go,
Sweet. Yeah.
Dave.
You
You're
can't
gonna,
collect
It's not
everything
just
on
it's
Steam.
not just for Steam anymore.
that's right. Dave, you're gonna say something?
I just remember carting around all that audio equipment. And I remember
Hell
at
yeah.
JPK's flat when he had that like big executive table that belonged in the boardroom that was just went on for miles, and it was like
Some of those episodes went on
so
for
much
miles.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we had some crazy long episodes during that.
Yeah,
era.
we kind of come up with top fives or whatever, and I mean, it's been fun.
Well, it was pretty fun to watch that briefcase or big
Oh,
tech case
Yeah.
develop
still
over
have that, it's in
time,
the
adding
garage.
mics, adding
Yeah.
mixers, all that.
It got to the
be
point where I
portable.
could barely lift it.
Yeah. Heavy, tons of foam in it to hold everything together and secure.
And we can
Yeah.
still
I
use
mean, it's
it.
got
We still
full
have all
mixer.
that. Yeah, we still
Yeah,
have all that.
it's
We can still
still
do.
there.
And maybe someday maybe this summer we'll do a live show or
Yeah,
two.
we need to do it in
in person.
person game night soon.
But
Yeah.
But I also have a question too.
Oh, a
This is gonna
question.
be tor-
Yeah, all right.
This is going to be towards JPK. How did you wind up with this merry band of misfits? Because
Oh,
I
I
mean,
think
there
it
was. I mean,
through
there may have
Jason.
been a lapse, but I mean, I don't know if I know that origin story.
I think I met through because I went to Portland State University and I met Jason because he was in one of my poli sci classes.
Oh, you're
and
kidding.
then and then through Jason, I met Ian, and then
weren't you dating
I
Roxanne
met-
at the time?
No. Shit, that may get me in trouble if you say that. to say that out loud.
Anyway.
That's funny. And then so I met Ian, and then I met Jared and Dave as well through Jason. And then I think Ian just mentioned that they did game night, and then I started going to game night, and then from there the podcast started, and I think I was like episode 6 or something on the podcast.
So it's a weird thing because really what happened is that the podcast initially was a show. So like the show
Yeah.
started like a few months before. So like every time the game night was at my house, I would kind of take it over and make the guys do this video show for like, you know, so John and everybody who was at game night that night would be stuck on this show. And then at a certain point, Jared and I decided to do a podcast. And then it was just Jared and I, and then we would invite Dave on to interview, and then we had John on as a guest, and at some point we were like, well, let's stop doing the show and we'll just do the podcast all the time, and we'll just have everyone be a part of it. So then game night became like the first part of game night we would record, and then we, you know, and
Eat, record, and then
play video games.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Those were
So-
like busy nights.
Busy nights,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
So is that where like a lot of those clips from the opening are from those earlier episodes?
Yeah,
some of it. So like it's originally Dave or originally Jared
Well, I mean,
and I
I know
and then,
some of them were.
And then
like,
Dave, John, and Aaron are basically, when we decided that new format, they all kind of started at the same time. You know, so they were all kind of guests, and then then the 5-pack, the original 5. What is the podcast? In my opinion, what the idea of what the podcast ultimately became, the 5 of us. That's where it was, you know, and then, yeah.
Various people have stepped in and out over time.
Yeah, we'd have guests, and people would step in.
Yeah,
and out.
at the beginning we'd have a whole bunch of guests. Just we'd kind of have them pick a topic. Remember that? It was like a bunch of my old friends. We'd drag them in. and they'd kind of set their own episode, and we'd make an episode out of that. That was
I
really
mean,
fun
Bryn's
back
on an
then.
episode back then.
Yeah. I had a nephew on when he was super
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
Now he's like 22.
We had
Oh, wow.
yeah, we had all kinds of different people on, and then there kind of became a time where there was not so much, and then Scott joined, and then that kind of upticked some of the interviews because we did quite a few different interviews. I brought Yusef. That's how we met Yusef.
Mhm.
What's the heart? Rock Heart. We had Rock Heart on.
Oh yeah.
Kenna Wolf. A lot of different streamer stuff. We kind of and that's that. I don't know, Dave.
And you had your
Dave-
brother on too once.
Yeah, I've had my brother's been on
That's
a
right.
couple times, but who was at the Rose City Games? I know Aaron and I. Dave, were you there, or was it John? Who was? I know Scott was there. Maybe it was just Scott, Aaron, and I. Anyway, that was kind of crazy. That was weird. It's a lot of work. That one was a lot of work. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff, and then the pandemic kind of hit, or like there was the fallout with Scott. I like Scott. I don't really have a problem with him, but I feel like he was trying to pull the show in a million different directions, and I was like, this is too much for me. And so then we kind of went in hiatus mode, and then pandemic hit, and we needed a reason to hang out. So we brought podcast is a good reason to hang out. So
Yeah, it is.
it's an easy commitment for most of us. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Uh,
Say no more.
And,
Yeah.
and speaking of Scott, did he kind of look like a banana today, or?
no, he didn't banana this time.
No.
He's
He
banana.
wore a yellow
No.
shirt.
He wore a yellow
No,
shirt.
no, I'm not saying he dressed up, but he had like a yellow shirt, and the way it looked like on the stream, and like he had like kind of a brown cap on, and
Oh, really?
plus he had black pants on. Yeah, I don't
think he planned it. I think it kind of.
That's just how he
I'd
is.
be.
It's just in his
Yeah.
soul, maybe.
But-
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
he wore banana socks.
Just so we can mention it, like today, 3 of the members of the couch joined Yusef's super stream. We got to hang out and play some video games and hang out and stream
The
live.
couch co-op took over.
Yeah, we did pretty
And
good.
do some exercise.
It
It was a lot.
Stream
It was a
Jack.
lot of fun.
Unexpected exercise.
There was Summer Skin 90. There was Dirty Dwarves. There was Mappy Man. And Ken and Wolf, of
Little
course.
Terror.
Yeah, Little Terror's part of the Dirty Dwarves. But you can go watch that. It's a crazy fun stream. You can go watch that
Yeah, I
at
wanna
Yusef.
watch it.
Yusef Hotline, twitch.tv/Yusef Hotlani. You can watch the VOD. It's pretty fun. I actually watched some of it and was watching myself. I didn't think I was that good at Tekken 8, but somehow I beat a bunch of people. So
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to win at Bomberman, and I won.
Oh yeah, Dave won a
Yeah,
Bomberman.
you're probably the most brushed up on fighting games, Ian.
And then yeah, but Yusef.
And I took it close on
Ken
Tekken, and
Wolf,
I was
yeah.
just button mashing.
But
Yeah.
and then we all played Just Dance at the end. And
I gotta
was-
watch
It may
that.
not be on the stream.
It's pretty
because of the
funny.
music,
It's
but-
pretty funny.
yeah.
But it was a good time, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be another one. I hope you guys, some of the other guys that can't make it, haven't been able to make it, can make it in the future. It's a lot of fun.
It'll get easier as my kids get a little older.
I know, but it's a super fun hang, and just pretty low
Yeah.
commitment.
You
really.
can watch the people of Portland out the window.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
We don't need to get into
Man.
that, but.
Well, you'll hear it on the stream.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh yeah.
play-by-play.
Oh, there's some there's some
Yeah.
funny shit on the stream. Yeah. Anyway,
Is it like a Seinfeld episode?
it's I mean, Portland is ground zero for
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Anyway, what I thought this episode this time around, instead of like trying to get people to like chime in and talk to us, or I think we had Tony Death on for the last episode, which is a cool thing to do for an anniversary episode. But this time we've talked about our favorite games in ways and in different episodes, but we've never actually definitively given our lists of favorite games of all time, or like I like to call it F-GOAT. And I think John mentioned something funny to me earlier today. He was like, I think we've talked about all these games probably quite a bit, just not on a list, and that might be true. But I think some of our listeners might actually want to know what our actual top 5 favorite games of all time are. In an actual, and I think mine have changed over. I know mine for a fact have changed over the years. So.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what this episode's going to be. It might be a little longer because we're doing a top 5 instead of a top 3, but that's why we kind of cut out some of the other stuff. I found this list pretty easy, and then at the end super hard. I don't know how the rest of
Yeah,
you felt.
I have a lot of contenders on the list, and it was hard ranking them more than actual like thinking of games. You know.
There's also games I think of really fondly, but I don't know if they're actual games I still think are awesome, or if I were to play them, would I still hold them in such a high regard? It's a very difficult. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like a lot of my old favorite games I've talked about are so far away. I mean, I played them 30 years ago, and a lot of them I haven't revisited. So, like, you ask me a story detail and why I like the game, I might talk like, oh, hey, I still think of the music, that kind of stuff. But, like, I can't tell you anything else about the game. So I really had to consider removing stuff like that off the list because they're not fresh on my mind. I haven't played them. And, nostalgia, I don't think belongs on a list like this. So I kind of shoved some of those aside and put them on a list where I should revisit them maybe.
I was kind of where I was a bit. Yeah. All right. Well, anyone else have anything they want to say before we kick this off? I'll take your quietness as a no.
No.
All right, Jared. Well, all right, co-pilot. What's your number 5?
My number 5, it was actually one of the first ones I thought of, is Returnal.
Oh my gosh, there you go. Brand new.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know how much I adored that game and wanted everybody to at least try it. And
I think I actually bought it before you.
Yeah, you did. I think. Yeah,
and then I
I don't think you ever passed level 2.
I never made it past level 2.
Level 2, yeah.
It's a great game,
I'd still play
though.
it with you.
It's a great game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just love the speed and the atmosphere and the music. I actually listened to the soundtrack several times. I like that weird music that they throw in there. It's just so moody and dark and interesting. And the enemy designs are just like something I've never really seen. They're really unique designs, and I don't know. I think I was surprised with my top list, and that's definitely one of the surprises. Was the Returnal was definitely on this top 5 list.
That game is also, I mean, Housemarque for the longest time did, kind of like top-down or side-scrolling, shooter games. Like this whole move to the third person and kind of a grander, not everyone was sure they were going to pull it off, and that it was such a strong game.
They absolutely did.
They absolutely did.
Yeah, I can't wait to see their follow-up to Returnal, what they're doing next.
Cool. Dave, what's your number? Oh, Dave, what's your number 5?
Very excited. I've always liked that studio.
My number 5 is Supercars 2 on the Commodore Amiga and Atari ST. It's a top-down racing game with weapons, 2-player, nice. And I just really like it. I've come back to it again and again over the years because I think it came out in like 92, 93. And I've played it, every time my cousin and I would get together, we'd have another go round on it, and it's just a game. I like the stupid questions. Like at the end of every round, one of you gets called randomly into like the press or the police, or so if you get the press, each question you answer gets you more money. Whereas if it's the police, each question you answer like gets you, you start by losing 5,000 quid. And each question you answer correctly like lowers the fine, so it can be quite a hard game in that respect. But it's so fun, and that's funny. Like it's multiple choice, but some of the answers are so snarky. It's like how'd you pass someone on the freeway, and it's like blow them up with your missiles is one of the answers, and that kind of stuff.
I have a question for a game that's that old. How did you come across that game? Did you just buy it, or?
I had it back in the day when it was new. I bought it. I remember buying it, I think, from the Virgin Megastore in Liverpool for like when it came out on the budget release for 10 quid or whatever. And it's by Magnetic Field, who are the guys that did that rally racing game you were talking about in the top 5. So that was their thing, was they made like Lotus Turbo Esprit and a few other games. And I can't remember why I bought that game. I think I'd played Supercars 1 and I was like, okay, number 2 is going to be better. And for some reason, I have really fond memories of playing it again over and over with my cousin, but I've also played it again recently and I still enjoy playing it. And so it's kind of that's kind of why it made it on the list, is I've played it in the last 5 years to completion. And like it's not a long game like a lot of those games are, and I still find it fun.
Mhm.
So, and then I was looking at my list, and that might be a theme.
Awesome.
Nice.
Nick, Beerstro. What are you drinking tonight, Beerstro? Just, we're not doing a battle, but what are we drinking tonight?
Yeah. So I found this at the store earlier tonight. It's from Block 15. It's under their Sticky Hands moniker. It's Marmalade.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Oh, it tastes like
Something-
orange peels.
It actually does not. It's an IPA that
like a
apparently
juicy.
is. Yeah, it says best before yesterday, so drink it now.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
Oh, and
Yeah,
so
no,
it must be really bad if you didn't drink it by yesterday.
I've been slacking.
Well, what's your number 5? What's your number 5 game, buddy?
Number 5.
Well, this is going to be fresh on Jared's mind, but I'm going to go with the original Final Fantasy, number 1.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
Okay.
that's
I
a game
literally
that
just
I
beat
played.
it for my first time.
Yes, and I was intrigued by that, and I wish I had a copy to play. I mean, I've played it. I've gone back and played it over the years, so I know I still enjoy it. Like, I mean, this isn't entirely a nostalgia thing, but I mean, it's a lot of fun because it's one of those RPGs where you're not stuck with a main character. You actually get to choose your 4 characters, and it's just kind of fun experimenting with like the different classes, and especially when you get to the point to where they kind of grow up, evolve, or whatever description you want to use. But
The
it's
bard
just-
was the worst.
See, I don't know who the bard is
Or the
because
monk.
I just
The monk. That's what I mean.
that would have been the red mage. That's so when I played, there was the fighter knight, there was the thief ninja, the black belt master, and then you had the red, white, and black mages who all became
Mhm.
wizards after the class
Mhm.
transformation. So is that was the red mage the monk?
I don't remember what the monk went to, but his attack
So-
power was super weak and he had no magic.
Oh,
He just
maybe
punched things.
that's
pretty
probably the
much.
black belt.
Yeah, it was pointless. He did nothing.
Um,
But continue
well,
on your
I mean,
Final Fantasy rant.
I never actually really got to know that character too well, but from what I've read,
Don't.
other
Yeah.
people have actually been able to build that character up to where it's actually quite powerful to actually not equip him with weapons. But again, I never ventured down that path. I usually just stuck with like 2 fighters and a white and black mage, or a fighter and a thief.
That's
Those are
actually
some of
what
my
I wish I
favorite
did.
combos.
Yeah, you should absolutely buy the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. You don't have to buy the whole set. You can just buy Final Fantasy 1.
I know. I was on earlier today, and I already put that on my wish list. So
Yeah.
just kind of wait for it to go on sale, and then maybe I'll go back and revisit it. But I believe I have a version of it or at least I think I did. I had one for the Game Boy Advance years ago. I also know I went back and played it on ROMs. But yeah, I mean, it's a game that I've kind of gone back to time and time again, and it still kind of holds up for me. So, kind of nostalgic, kind of not, because it's one of those games I've gone back to, and especially with Jared playing it, and I think we even kind of talked about it a little bit today on the Discord. I don't know. I want to go back and play it again soon.
Good.
Alright.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
should.
JPK, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Bad Company 2.
Here we are.
Battlefield.
Okay.
Battlefield, baby.
Battlefield, yes.
Yeah,
Battlefield
okay.
Bad Company 2.
I played some of
So-
that. It's fun.
The highlight of that, of course, is the multiplayer, which is they still have the servers active. I at least up to a few years ago, I went on the Xbox S and downloaded it on Game Pass, and I was playing some of the multiplayer maps, and they were still active. I mean, obviously the lobbies were low population, very low population, but you can still play the game online. I just remember the destructibility was really cool. I mean, you could win games just by blowing up buildings because it would crumble on the objective and then it would destroy the objective, depending on which side you're on. So if you're on the offensive side, obviously that's a good thing. So it was cool to see how the destructibility wasn't just for looks; it could play into strategy. The bullet drop for the sniper rifle, that was something I haven't really seen before, so that was really cool to kind of master. Granted, they didn't have bullet drop for assault rifles, so you could ping people across the map. It depended on the type of assault rifle you had versus the sniper rifle would have the bullet drop. But overall, it was just a very satisfying game to play. Probably one of the best multiplayer experiences I've had to this day. And supposedly there's talks that they're going to do another sequel eventually. I mean, they did Battlefield 2140 or whatever, that futuristic one, and that was kind of a failure, unfortunately. So supposedly they're going to do Bad Company 3 to kind of quote unquote save the franchise, but that's rumors as far as I've seen.
No, they had Vince Zampella come in and take over on the Battlefield 2046, and it's supposed to be pretty decent now.
I've heard it's gotten a lot better. I haven't played it. I didn't play it when it initially came out, and then I kind of came back to it, and it was just I was just getting sniped because at that point, the only people who have stuck around are people who have been there since the beginning, and they were really good and had high level players. And then being a new player coming in, it's just like, oh, I'm just getting my ass kicked. Like, I don't want to really play this game now.
I think the problem with those games is they gave it away for on PS Plus, and hopping in and playing it, it's a lot of fun actually. It's just no one. There's a lot of people playing it, but just none of my friends are playing it, so it's just like, meh.
And I will say, I noticed now because I played Call of Duty, Warzone 2 or 3 or whatever they're on now, and I do notice
It's just Warzone.
I'm not very good at those type of games. And also the skill level as a whole has lifted because because a lot of people have played those games for years now. So they know the game mechanics for that specific title and how to use them to the best of their abilities. And then I'm just kind of coming in, clunking around, trying to hip drop shots, and it's just the skill level has
Get
gotten
good.
a lot
Just
higher.
Get good.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get good.
Yeah,
I
you
don't wanna
gotta
get good.
really want to play the game
That's an
to
investment.
to have fun with it.
Yeah. It's kind of like golf. You've got to play it to get good at it.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just buy a Cronus, except not for a PlayStation anymore because they fixed it so you can't use that. But anyway, all right. My number 5. So the 5 games in my top 5 spot are.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling, and I'm not quite sure which game. This is how awful this is. And I'm going to pick one right now. And I think ultimately,
Yes, that one.
I don't know,
Right there.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're looking at it right now. Just pick that one.
Dip.
Well, here's my dilemma. Like a lot of games got removed, and I want to put Gran Turismo on the list, but I still think I prefer Metal Gear Solid 4. So I'm going to put Metal Gear Solid 4 at the 5 position. I love Metal Gear Solid 4. I played it through like 3 times. I'm hoping to play through it again when the second collection second volume of the collection releases for the PS5, I'm hoping that they remake or like at least do a version that is playable on the PS4 or PS5. But Metal Gear Solid 4 is the direct sequel to Metal Gear Solid 2, and so I like that. Everyone loves Metal Gear Solid 3, and I like that game too, but I like the Solid Snake universe, and I'm not so up on the Big Boss universe. Big Boss is fine for me, and I know Kojima really has a hard-on for Big Boss, but I prefer Solid Snake. He's my dude, and so Metal Gear Solid 4, and just seeing him age faster and living in that world, and it's also just a very weird and bizarre, like Kojima, but it's like just full weird, like the little girl cooking the eggs, and the eggs are always different and weird, but they're different because the game, like whatever the game's message is, the eggs have something to do with that message in that chapter. It's all very bizarre and weird, and I enjoy that. There's a lot of funky shit going on at every turn, and fucking weird ass characters. I don't know. I love that game.
They have good characters in that one. Yeah.
The music is great. Yeah. So
the ninja scenes are pretty cool.
I bought that online. That's when I waited to buy a PS3 to get the Metal Gear Solid 4 bundle.
Gunmetal Gray version.
Yeah, I remember.
No, I didn't get that one because that was the 40 gig.
Yeah.
I want the 80 gig, and the 80 gig version was just black, but
boring. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a shame.
But yeah, the more expensive version should have been the cool version.
Yeah, the
So
collector's
fucking-
edition should
so
be the better
fucking
version.
dumb.
Absolutely. Yeah. Boo,
Anyway.
Sony, boo.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love Metal Gear Solid 4. I love that game. So it knocks Gran Turismo 7 down into a top 10, not a top 5. I mean Gran Turismo as a whole. But anyway, so
I would absolutely play Metal Gear Solid 4 again.
I
only
just
played
wanted
it
to,
once.
but I just wanted to keep mentioning Gran Turismo. Just as Anyway,
Wow, you must have 4 great games then. That's not in your list.
Well, hey, Metal Gear Solid is a very great game. I will agree.
so MGS4. That's my number 5. Jared, what is your number 4?
Monster Hunter World
Oh my God. This is in my top
number
10.
4. Yeah. Well, as much time as I spent on that solo, I loved it solo, and then of course there was the many hours that Ian and I hung out in Monster Hunter World. Of course, these days co-op games really stick in the mind because you are chatting, you're having fun through the thick and the thin of the hard missions. You're still having a great time, and Monster Hunter World is a game that both of us actually tried for essentially the first time to really get into that genre, and it ended up being really rewarding, very, very rewarding.
Yeah,
Just having a lot of fun with
I put almost 200 hours into that game.
it. Me too. Yeah, more than that actually, because I also played the DLC most of the way through. And then other games kept on coming out. But yeah, Monster Hunter World is such a fun game, and it's still installed on my system.
I'm actually surprised I made your top 5 though. I mean, it's definitely in my top 10, but it's like, wow, I kept pushing it out.
Well, it's not just like the gameplay, like the exploring. I love exploring in games. That game was really fun to do that in. Not just following the flies around, but actually going off the path, not worrying about the monster that you're hunting or anything like that. Just exploring and watching the wildlife do their things, and it was really a live world, and it was kind of neat seeing all the animals. They'd migrate to different parts of the map, and you could interact with the map in different ways, causing big massacres, sliding the big monsters off giant cliffs with a flood or a waterfall that you break apart, and just falling through the sandy floor of a map, because a monster dives at you. It's super cool.
It's definitely also one of those things where it's the game that since we hadn't really played that style of game, it was like a lot of new mechanics. So it was some of it open world and kind of action, but adding a lot of new stuff that you're not normally used to doing. Kind of gave it that I've been looking for like new experiences in video games, and Monster Hunter World that's definitely one of the pluses about that game. It gave me an experience I wasn't really used to.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, it was different than anything I'd ever done. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of games where you just go and wipe out a bunch of enemies. You use those materials to upgrade. I mean, even first-person shooters that we've all played, you slaughter little critters, make a wallet out of it. Hey, I need to carry more money. Let's go murder these animals. It's the same thing, but on a bigger scale with very challenging, really cool looking, awesome sound effects like the roars and stuff like that. Everything about that game just oozed cool.
For sure.
No.
Except getting your face bitten off by Anjanath. Yes, Dave.
All right, Dave, what's your
No.
number
That game
4?
sucked. My number 4 is Star Wars Battlefront 2, the
Nice.
original one on
Nice.
the Xbox.
Yeah.
I
PS2.
really and PS2. The reason I choose the Xbox one is because you could have 4-player split screen. PlayStation 2, you could only do 2-player split screen.
But we played the PS2 version online. Didn't
We did play the PS2 version online, and it was
Yeah.
miserable. Mouse and what I liked about that game, above just like it felt good, and you felt like you were in the Star Wars universe, and it had. I like the kind of ebb and flow. Like you really did feel like you were pushing the battle forward, or you were losing the battle. And it was pretty amazing how. Like, even though there are only 2 or 4 of you, and you maybe get like 100 respawns each, it was kind of like you could flow on the map, and if you were strong in one area, then the other team would be kind of, if you weren't paying attention, they'd come in kind of behind you.
Galactic
A lot of tactics
I-
involved.
Galactic Conquest, yeah, and I like the Galactic Conquest. It was the perfect amount of time to beat the game when you were playing Galactic Conquest, because you could do it in an evening.
Which Dave and I
It
did
wasn't
many
like-
times.
Yeah, we did it many times, but it's the original couch co-op game as well.
Yeah,
So
the
thought it
beginning
had to
of
get on my
It
list.
is the founding
the game night. Yeah, the founding
Yeah.
game of game night between
But
Dave
it's
and
just
Ian.
one of those games that, like, I just remember playing over and over again, and I've picked it up. Every couple of years, I'll dig the Xbox out and hook it up for some reason, and it's one that I always put in, and I always find myself playing it for longer than I think I would,
Yeah,
because it's
that's
just
awesome.
enjoyable and fun. So
There you go.
that's my number 4.
A long dead, awesome developer pandemic.
Yeah.
Rest
Yeah.
in peace. All right, Nick, what's your number 4?
So I'll just make this quick because I realize that not a lot of people here are sports ball
Sports
game
ball.
fans.
I thought you were going to be.
I'm gonna go with NFL 2K4. It's probably it's. I mean, it's just like it's that whole 2K series. Like when it came out for the Dreamcast, it was just like I had played like all the EA sports games and stuff. I mean, not so much Madden. Never really got into that, but used to be a big Tecmo Super Bowl fan and Sega's Joe Montana. Like I really liked those series a lot. I don't know. It was just when 2K came out with their NBA and NFL franchises. It just kind of reinvigorated sports games for me, and
Who's on the cover of
2K4?
2K? Who's on the cover of 2K4?
Warren
Where's that?
Sapp. And in fact, just for kicks, I have it on right now.
Is-
Nice.
Don't know
Was he on the Falcons?
No, he was. I think that year he was on Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, because they had
okay.
just won the
Yeah, they won the
Super Bowl in 2003.
Yep.
And then he
It's the
immediately
Raiders.
flew out and jumped onto Jimmy Kimmel's inaugural night show. But anyway, especially now that the 2K series, the NFL 2K series was kind of short-lived because EA went and spent a bunch of money to basically
Buy the
kill that
rights.
franchise.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they basically got an exclusive rights deal, and so, I mean, I go back and play this game. Seems like every once in a while, like during football season. In fact, I just played it like I think the week before the Super Bowl. So it's a game that I go back and play. It's just, I mean, it is nostalgia, but it's also just, I think it's a really great football game. The whole series is great, and I said I'd try and hurry up because I know this is
Hurry up
probably boring
offense.
to most
Hurry
people.
up offense.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
It's anyway,
Break.
it's and also not to mention the creative team stuff on there. It's fun creating friends and like creating a team with all my friends and stuff on there. That's always just been kind of my jam too when it comes to some of these sports games. So it's just, I don't know. This game works for me. It's one of my favorites, and I love going back and playing it. I even went and bought another PS2 just to play it because
Nice.
the PS3 emulation for PS2 games, just for whatever reason, it didn't work for that game. My original PS2 crapped out like 2.5 years in, and so eventually I just found one on Amazon for like $45 and bought it.
Damn.
Nice.
That's cheaper than
great.
you can get at the Retro Expo.
Right.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, this was probably 2016 when I finally did this, just
Well,
because
there
I got
you go.
tired of the PS3 and its emulation stuff, and then my PS3 died. And
Yeah, unless you have like the PS3 that has the actual PS2 inside of it, the emulation
Yeah.
is mixed.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I could only make it to halftime, and then the game just started bugging out. And
That's
just
too bad.
broke my heart.
All right, cool. Aaron, welcome to the show.
What up?
Come, Aaron.
I thought
Should we pause a moment for Aaron so he can
Well, I was
give his
gonna-
thoughts
I was gonna
or
say-
favorite? Yeah.
I was gonna say if he could tell
I got
us.
my top 5.
Yeah, no, but like give your number 5 and then
All right.
Well,
and then-
actually,
what Nick?
couldn't he have just waited another 15 minutes and then just celebrated the 10-year anniversary by coming on at 10 o'clock?
No, I want to get on sooner.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so the
Number 5 and then your number 4.
all right. So
Something
before
involving sexual torture a little bit.
that's not in there. No.
That wasn't me. Not it.
Anyway,
Yeah, sure.
no,
Mhm.
I actually chose. I made my list based off the best games of each category that went in my head for this one, and my number 5 actually goes into the sports category, and it's gonna be NFL Blitz, the OG Blitz NFL
Yeah, that was fun.
game. That was such a fun game. There's really
What year is
little
that?
rules.
When does that come out? Or what
that
console?
is like I think it was for Super Nintendo, not Super Nintendo, N64, and then I think Dreamcast had it.
Arcade.
Yes, arcade as well. That's where I actually first started playing. They started renting it out at Blockbuster.
That's where I played most of it.
That was a fun little game. Pretty much no rules. I mean, there's some rules, but there's really none because you could just knock the shit out of any way you played. It was so much fun. And then I chose that one because that was a lot of fun playing with my friends. And well, back in the day when I was a kid, so it was just such a like just you could pick up and play whenever you felt like. There was a season mode, but I just played with my friends mainly. So
Well, it was essentially the NBA Jam of football, wasn't it?
and of course you could tackle a lot more stuff.
Yeah. You could do wild, crazy things and stunts and stuff like
I just
that.
I just remember the power bombing people in that game at the end zone if you wanted to.
Yeah.
There was no flag on it. You just pick my power bomb them. It's like, oh, it's so awesome. It was
Cool.
like wrestling without wrestling, but it was graphics for its time. They were, but it was just the gameplay I enjoyed. It was so much fun to play with my friends. All of the arguments we got into, and then so that's my number 5, and my number 4 actually comes from the racing department. It would actually be probably Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec for the PS2. That's
Great one. Yeah.
it's the game that actually really like. Okay, I played Mario Kart. We all did, but most of us did. But
Shaking his head.
I said most, not all of us.
Only one of us doesn't like to admit it.
Ian
But
can't
no. I
see
think
past
that's
his
Ian.
hatred of anything Nintendo.
I mean,
He's
I literally
I have never touched
I've
Mario
I
Kart.
literally have never touched Mario Kart unless I've been
Right.
forced to by you guys. I don't own a
Right.
copy of Mario Kart. I would never willfully choose to play
No.
Mario Kart. Anyway, go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry,
Right.
Jared interrupted you rudely.
It's all right.
That's
I
why.
get it.
That's
but
why he's
no-
frozen now. he's gone to. Oh, there. Okay.
It's
Anyway.
just
Yeah.
Back.
maybe it's just deep in thought.
But
Go ahead.
anyway, so that game kind of got me into racing game, but something about Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec was the game that really got me into racing games, like actual factual racing games, like your Need for Speeds, your Cruising Worlds, your Rushes, your actual racing games like the ladder.
Ugh,
Gran
what a
Turismo is
terrible
like,
game.
Dave hates
Yes.
this game.
sorry,
Yeah.
Dave.
I own
I
it.
love.
I hate it.
I owned it. That's how I even learned of it. My brother wanted it for Christmas when we first got the PlayStation, and that game I kind of played more than half the games at the time we currently owned. So I'm like,
I'm glad Aaron got
This is-
on. I wasn't gonna put Gran Turismo on my list, but I don't have to because Aaron got it on the show for me.
it is.
Had to be
It's a
on our
fun
list.
game. It's a
It
fun
is a
game.
fun
It
game.
is.
Snoop Dogg's doing like the theme rap song, dude.
It had good tracks. It had good graphics for its time. It had so much fun. You could play it over and over. It was one of the perfect racing games, and it was real enough to feel like you.
Dave and I used to play it at his apartment, and we used to like we'd try and get the cars to go we'd draft each other to try and go as fast as humanly possible. Dave probably doesn't
Right.
remember that, but we used to do that at his place.
My favorite thing was always doing the rally car one. I always go to Pikes Peak constantly. That was like one of my favorite places to race in that game. Like, oh, it was so much fun. And there's times my brother was always better than me at that game. That was the one track I could actually beat him at. So
Memories.
I felt good. So fun. Yeah, that's the number
Number
4.
All right, John, what's yours? Number 4.
My number 4 is The Witcher
That's one
3.
of the first games that we played during Knight.
Man, Jared is suffering.
Laggy.
Yep.
Jared, you might need to do something.
Come back. Go out and come back again.
It's that ODOT
Oh,
tax,
there he
I
is.
tell ya.
Oh, there he's.
Hi.
It's weird because now my video connected keeps flashing down to red every once in a while, but it's green now. Bum, bum, bum,
You were saying,
bum.
Jared?
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, totally.
Go ahead, John. Number 4.
My number 4 is The Witcher 3. So I'll keep this short because I've talked about Witcher 3 in several different episodes, but as someone who this was the first Witcher game I've played in the series, I have played Witcher 2 since I've played Witcher 3, and Witcher 3 is definitely. I got spoiled by playing The Witcher 3 and then playing The Witcher 2 because The Witcher 2 is definitely more clunky and for me harder to play through than Witcher 3. Witcher 3, they did a great job. I mean, that game was when Witcher 3 came out, it had issues when it came out, performance issues, but since then they've ironed them out and the DLC is great. The game seems like it's always on sale. I also bought the Redux they came out with a year or two ago, I think a year ago, that made it that you can play it on the PS5. It got upgraded to PS5, and that was like a worthy buy for me because I think I got it on sale. But even then, it was I definitely noticed a difference in terms of the frame rate, and that made a big improvement in the game. And the game is one of the fairest games I've played in terms of difficulty because there's a lot of systems in the game and the combat itself is very fair. And Geralt is a great character, and I hope that they keep going with Geralt. I think he's a great character, and I think the way that the developers have shaped him, he is someone that you can for me, I can continuously go on a journey with him because you know who he is, but you can he's a great foil to the rest of the world that they create to him.
He's
And-
basically Solid Snake on horseback. So
Sounds like it's
Sure. Sure.
Funny.
He just needs an eye patch.
Sure. Well, but yeah. No, Witcher 3 is a great game. Great call.
But but everything, it's just a complete package. So if you're looking into getting to The Witcher, especially since now that they're developing The Witcher 4,
I hope
Witcher
Ciri's
3
the
is
lead. I hope Ciri's the lead. That'd be hot.
Oh, that'd be cool too. I mean, they haven't done that before. Really had a female-led Witcher game. But I just hope they don't. I hope they keep making games with Geralt involved.
I'm sure they will.
So yeah, Witcher 3 is my number 4.
Cool.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Well, my number
Nice.
4 is
Oh yes, near Automata.
Near
be
Automata,
or not
baby.
to be.
To be or not to be. That is the question,
Yep.
indeed.
Nice.
That is one of the funnest games, actually.
I
Yeah.
love this game.
This is my honorable mention for sure.
Sexy. Music is awesome. Best
Yeah.
animation butt walk in existence
Check.
of video games. Combat super fun.
Check.
It's pretty tight.
It's the style. It oozes style. The story's a little whack.
Fun
I would
story though.
I would say the only kind of downside of the game is like the environments aren't the most elaborate or best as looking.
Yeah.
Some of them.
they're- some are cool, but
Some of them are really awesome.
like the design of them is cool, but the look of them is just kind of meh.
Yeah.
But the
exactly.
aspect changing and like it's kind of a shooter or a shmup, and then it's a action combat game. And it's an RPG. It's got a lot going on. You play different
It works,
characters.
though.
There's a shit ton of endings. It's just a lot
I
of
was
stuff.
just listening to the soundtrack this week.
It's by one of my favorite It's partially made by one of my favorite developers, Platinum. There's just a lot of stuff in this game. There's hits, strokes all my buttons, and I really enjoyed it.
This was also a surprise hit for you too, Ian, because
Yeah.
you weren't initially interested in this game, and then you were like,
Well, I think I was
taken
interested
aback.
in it, but I wasn't like
Yeah.
I need to play this. I was just like, I'm curious about this game. But yeah, it fucking hit pretty hard, and
You even dressed up as
I
2B.
did. But I feel like I kind of really want to go back to it, and I just haven't. There's too many games, but I would like to go back to it and play it again, play through it again. But Near Automata is my
Okay.
number 4. Love the game. Super cool.
Yeah,
Jared.
yeah, good choice.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Elden Ring.
Oh,
Yes,
Have you noticed a
Nice.
trend here?
Elden Lord.
good games.
Number 5 is really hard game. Number 4, very hard game. 3,
Jared
Very
likes
hard
hard.
game.
Jared likes stiff, hard things.
Jared likes it hard.
Boing.
Yeah, well-
hard game.
I don't know. Maybe
Elden
that's
Ring
the
is the
nostalgia
easiest.
kick.
Elden Ring's the easiest of
coming
the hard
in.
games, though.
Yeah,
"Oh, it's a
but may-
softest game."
Maybe that's like the nostalgia kick coming in, because like all the games I grew up with were challenging, back on the old consoles or something like that. I don't know. I can't really connect the dots, but I don't really need to say much about Elden Ring that hasn't been said
Loved
before.
it.
But
There are episodes upon episodes that we
yeah,
and others
lots of
have-
episodes. But
Mhm.
the thing that always comes to mind on that is it may not have like the craziest, wildest, most realistic graphics or anything like that, but what they did with the graphics they have was create this like crazy scale. Like games have difficulties making things look big and huge, like
Very
massive
true.
worlds, but this game somehow just made their whole world look like
Yeah,
like too big almost. It was
big.
crazy.
It
The
it
art
does a lot,
direction in that
but
game.
the world itself as an open world game, it does a lot of things that no open world games really do. It has a flow to it, and it's very interesting. And everywhere you're at, you know exactly where you're at. Like, I don't know how it is, but like when you're in that area, you're like, oh, I know where this is, and you go to a different area, and then oh, I know where this is. Like a lot of open world
just by
games,
like the plants.
you're in Grand Theft
and-
Auto, and you're like, okay. I have to look at the
Where
map
am
and
I?
see where the fuck I'm at,
Yeah,
because there's like
what
100
street
of
am
these.
I on?
Yeah, it's but then just the visual flair of it's just a different. It's such a cool game. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if they'll ever be able to top that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's they kind of set themselves up for a very challenging future because Elden
Right.
Ring's going to be a really hard game for From Software to beat. People are still looking for the DLC, which I will absolutely buy the DLC. Ian will too. We'll play that together
Right.
here and there because the most unfortunate part is co-op is
Little
a
clunky.
very From Software co-op
Little clunky.
thing where it just is very janky, and if you haven't finished a thing, you can't help somebody do a thing. So it's kind of frustrating and annoying, but you know, I mean, you're really supposed to play the game solo, but I didn't really want to, but you just kind of get forced into it most of the time. And it's like a limited resource. But that was the worst thing about the game. Everything else, everything was fun. Just even if you've completed an area and you were like overpowered, just going around just destroying everybody. Like New Game Plus. I played a lot of New Game Plus and just running around just completely destroying all these early bosses and all that was so fun and satisfying. Like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Cool. Awesome. Great choice. Dave, number 3.
My number 3 is the original Dude Bro game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay.
Like
Good one.
that one, I just remember that was the complete package. The multiplayer was great. I remember I was playing quite a lot in the multiplayer and doing. It reminded me of like when you would play GoldenEye and it's like no odd jobs or whatever, or we'd play knives only or something stupid
the
like
rules.
that.
All noob tubes,
The knives
baby.
only matches were great.
All noob
Yeah,
tubes.
or only. Yeah, that lovely sound when you
Noob
get the
tubes.
noob tube.
It doesn't even
just like-
explode. It just hits you.
Yeah, it just goes. Boom.
Just the
or
impact
you
of the
like
round.
long distance it across the map against. But I remember playing that, and one of the reasons it's on my list is it's one of the reasons I got an Xbox 360. You know, because I remember having to go to do something for work where I stayed overnight in a hotel, and there was like 2 of us, and the guy I was staying with brought his Xbox for something to do at the night, on the night, and we played that, and we just played it all night, and it was like, yeah, I just need one of these.
Did I buy you that one, or did I
This
buy
is
you
great.
2? I remember I
You
gifted
may have
you one
bought
of
me
them.
2.
Yeah, I knew I bought.
Yeah, I think it might have been 2 because number 1, yeah, it's just, and then the single player game on it is just awesome as well, and it really sticks with you. That AC 130 level, there's still nothing I've played that kind of holds a candle to that level as like varying the mission type.
It's also
and
weird
all
that they
the
never
rest of
actually
it.
kind of just went back to that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never did. They never did some
They've gone
kind
back
of.
to it, I think, a handful of times, but it didn't have
they?
the
I've
same
played through-
impact.
I've played through.
Yeah.
I think
a few
Cold
of them.
War did a
No,
similar
I didn't play that
AC
one.
130 section. I think with the newest, I think maybe in 2018 Modern Warfare, they've done
Well, that was a remaster
Level-
of the original, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they've done levels like the AC 130. They've just never had the same impact as that classic
Yeah,
AC
I
130
like-
from Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I like the characters in that game. Like that was one of those rare games where I probably would have bought it just for the single player, or probably just have bought it for the multiplayer. But like, both were just really solid. And to be quite honest, I've never quite enjoyed a Call of Duty game as much since that one. They've gone back to the fountain, but like none of the stories have grabbed me in the way that one grabbed me, and none of the multiplayers ever quite caught me in the way that one's caught me. So
That's the one you and I, Jared,
Yeah.
went back and did the veteran run on, right?
Yeah, I did the veteran run on 1 and 2.
yeah, when the remaster came out, we
Yeah.
went back, didn't we? And we did. I think I tried the veteran run and then turned the difficulty down. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just
I
like,
completed
nah.
it on both of those, but I didn't go for the platinum on them because I just didn't want to do it. After that, I was
Yeah.
just burnt out and tired of it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably what. And the other reason it makes it on my list is I remember playing a lot of it on the 360, and then when they did the remastered version on the PlayStation 4 and they gave that away, it's like I remember spending a lot of time replaying it.
Mhm.
So
Back when
actually held
Infinity
up.
Ward was the shit. Vince and what's his? I don't know the
Yep.
other guy. Vincent Pella, and I don't forget the other guy's name.
I don't. I used to know like all the people behind all the studios working
Yeah.
on it. Now there's like too many.
Basically, when
studios, and they
Respawn was
changed the
making Call of Duty
rotation.
games, they were pretty badass. Anyway,
Yeah, such a good game anyway, and I'm sure like my favorite of the series.
Good
And
choice.
No, not being eclipsed in my opinion.
number 3, Nick to win.
Just for shits and giggles,
Shits.
I'm gonna go with shits and giggles. I have another one, Nick. Counter Strike. I guess 1.6.
Oh, Counter-Strike.
Nice.
Okay.
Toxicville,
And,
USA.
It wasn't quite as toxic back in the day.
No, it wasn't.
And we
Nothing like
also
this.
did Knives Only way back, probably even way back in the day also.
The only video game my wife truly hates is Counter Strike.
It's
Reasonable.
I mean that was my introduction to playing with other people
Isn't it?
online, and
It's like,
Sorry.
That's when you stopped playing with yourself and started
essentially
playing with others.
Well,
it's
you gotta have some introduction somewhere to playing with others.
I mean I haven't jumped into Global Offensive in a little bit. Probably
number
because
2
of
now.
computer-
They have the new one.
Oh well, I don't have anything that could probably run it anyway. But I mean,
Not
someday
with their
I'm sure,
smoke
but
tech.
It's basically the
I-
original game, just re-graphicked, and they they
okay,
did
just
more particle
upgraded.
effects
Yeah.
and stuff, new lighting.
Yeah, but I mean, all the glitz and glamour, that's fine. But I mean, a lot of the fun was just the actual people that you're playing with. If you actually like clicked and like, and this may have even been in days even before like the hackers kind of came in and fucked up stuff, and then servers had to implement like some sort of policing of trying to get rid of like hackers and stuff. But just it was fun. It was fun with like the original maps. It was fun when people either found or created new maps. Like I remember playing like a Mousetrap version where we're like running around like we're almost like small animals running around like somebody's apartment.
Huh.
And even jumping in with a bunch of people that I had never met online or met in person, and all of a sudden we have our own little server for other people to come in and play. And I don't know, it was just like
You
not
mean
only the
lord
game
over?
itself,
You
but
mean lord over and be like, oh, do this. You can't do that. I'm gonna be a dick
No.
to you, little players.
Playing with
Game.
playing with clans such as Insurrection
Yes.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
yes, we
Hmm.
had our own clan and our own forum and stuff. And yes, as you can imagine, I was quite the everything flew under my radar. I didn't care. But no, it was just, I mean, not only the game itself, but just kind of the community that kind of came with it was, I don't know, it was just an overall fun experience.
we should play. We should play it one of these days.
Yeah, it's, well, that's the thing.
I mean,
It's
Dave and I
like-
had fun. Was Jared with us? Who was with us? I know Dave and I.
I might have played some
I
CS:GO.
played.
Yeah, I was in a little bit of CS:GO. I not much though.
Yeah, it was pretty good fun.
I mean,
Nick,
I'm
when you-
Holds up.
When you would play Counter Strike, I had a friend who would play Counter Strike, and he would always like jiggle his mouse cursor around because he was trying to explain like the way how they modeled the aiming or the shooting is that was kind of randomized because you couldn't aim down sights, so he would kind of like jiggle the mouse around, hoping he would get like a more accurate shot. Did you ever do that stuff?
no, because maybe that's something that came after.
Or maybe John has dumb
And-
friends. I don't know.
That could
Well,
be that may be
it's-
the
No,
Occam's
but
razor.
It's
Look who he's hanging out with
No,
tonight.
so There could be a bunch of things going on with that because I'm assuming your friend was probably playing with a laser mouse.
Yeah, he was playing with the mouse.
God,
And I'm not
Laser Mouse
saying
is my
that-
favorite band.
But I mean, I think I may have started playing with a mouse that still had a ball in it.
Oh,
Not for
man.
very long,
Clean
but
that
eventually,
dust.
Mouse
Yeah,
with
but then that-
balls.
It dropped.
but then I eventually moved up to an optical, and I mean, it could just be a whole technological generational
Like,
thing where
we went from regular mice to cyborg mice, and it's just,
Yeah,
you know, out of
basically.
control
But I
here.
mean, it could very well just be like.
I would
like
love to.
technology
I would love
thing,
to
but-
have a stream where Nick goes back to Counter Strike and plays it.
Oh, and that's the other thing. It's like I think that game and the people that play it have kind of passed me by, and
Yeah, but you could play with us.
the skills are eroded. To,
Our skills are high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of us are super good at competitive.
I got fucking kicked
shooter
for
games.
being away from keyboard for like 2 seconds. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this game. I mean, it would be kind of fun to have Jay Castal here because he was the guy that introduced me into the game,
Mhm.
and just it was him and I playing like in the very beginning. Like
he
even
looks like a
before I
toxic
found-
Counter Strike guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were
Hold
hope
on,
he
guys. Let me
listens.
grab my hood.
Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I mean, we may or may not have played over the phone, which is kind
Oh,
of frowned
wow.
upon. But I don't know. I mean,
Oh, you
without
didn't have
it-
dial-up?
huh?
How could you talk over the phone if you had dial-up?
Oh, we had broadband. This was back when
Oh.
AT&T actually did cable internet. We're talking like the year 2000. Yeah, the game wasn't even retail yet. It was still in beta. But
Like all of
It's-
Valve's games.
yeah, basically. But I mean, no, it was just. Yeah, it was.
It was a
I
different
mean,
time.
It wasn't just a game. Also, it was just something that kind of spawned like a whole bunch of other things too. So I mean, it's
I mean,
it's quite the experience.
It's what spawned
It's-
4chan and the toxic gamer culture.
oh, did it really? Oh,
No, I don't know.
maybe
If
I
it,
don't love
I'm
it as
just
much.
kidding. Just kidding.
Probably did.
Maybe my
probably
love
did.
for it is kind of eroded a little bit there.
If you look at the 4chan logo, you can see Steam in very fine print.
That's funny. Cool. Counter Strike. OG.
Mm-hmm.
Nick to win. You know, built on the backs of babes.
Yeah,
No, G. Oh, no. Oh, G.
All right, fine. Aaron, what's your number 3?
All right, my number 3 goes into the fighting area of games. I've got to go with Mortal Kombat, actually.
Which one?
Oh my god, I want to say the Mortal Kombat X. Actually, that one was
X gonna give it to you.
that one was probably my favorite game of all the Mortal Kombats. 'cause
Not
they
this
did
one?
some-
Modern Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
No,
No,
no, that
versus
one was
DC.
garbage. They didn't even have proper
It is
fatalities in that
garbage.
game. But no, I enjoyed that game. The graphics were amazing. They actually had a decent story in Mortal Kombat 10. And it's pretty much similar.
Mhm.
It's still really good. I like the fact that the X-ray combo thing where it's like they do slow motion, all of a sudden you see them break the jaw into like pieces, and you break a rib cage and show them go through the rib cage. And just it was really innovative, but really good at what they did. And I just forgot how much fun those fighting games could be until I started playing that game again. And then, of course, the only thing I was not too crazy about was some of the fatalities were just, oh my god. Some were like, whoa, just so brutal. But
Just
the
kind of going for shock value.
yeah, but again, I know what I'm getting into with Mortal Kombat. So
Could you imagine being the creative behind like pitching fatalities?
Speaking of
Oh.
4chan,
No, but still, it's like Yeah, but they did good though. They did really good at keeping it kind of creative. Like they've had the same fatalities for years with all those guys, but they made it like look fresh and new. Like obviously the Kiss of Death and Sonya Blade. Yeah, we knew that was coming, but the guy did some funny ones with that too. Remember they had like a friendality, whatever. She's like doing a selfie with a burnt out face or something like that with the Kiss of Death, or
I remember that one.
Yeah, the friendships. Yeah. those are
yes.
funny.
And then there was like some other ones I can't remember very well, but they did a really good job of revitalizing those fatalities, even though we've seen them all 1,000 times, whether it's on video or we did them ourselves. And I just remember playing that with you guys every now and then, or my own friends, other friends, or just by myself trying to master those fatalities. And it was so much fun playing it. And I really enjoyed fighting games because of that franchise alone, and I really enjoyed that one out of all of them, out of the Mortal Kombat franchise. So, number
trois.
Nice,
Awesome.
man.
Good choice. JPK, what's your number 3?
Well, I'm gonna pull a Lord Beerstro audible, and it's Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time / Majora's
Oh.
Mask. That's my number 3.
Why
So
is that a Lord Beerstro
I'm gonna go
audible?
take a piss while you guys talk about this shit game.
because you've in the past you've picked 2 games
only-
for one.
So you can
that's
just
the-
say N64 Zelda. There you go.
That's true.
There you go. Yeah.
That's
N64 Zelda. I will accept that. That's fine.
Yes.
So Ocarina of Time was like kind of one of the earliest games I played at N64, where I could tell it was just the story was good and it was engaging and it made me think more. As a young kid, which was different from other games I've played in the past. And then Majora's Mask, I just thought was so Ocarina of Time, I have a really large nostalgic feel for because I just had it was a magic. I remember getting that game for Christmas, going through the Kokiri Forest, that introductory walk level.
With
And that
Navi
was just
flying
really-
through. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and that was just super magical for me. And then Majora's Mask was such a great tonal shift into being more adult and serious and more mysterious and leaving you with more questions than answers. And I thought it was, and then how they twisted the world of Ocarina. I mean, granted, they used the same assets because the development time was much shorter compared to Legend of Zelda. So I thought it was a great way how they were able to use the same assets but twist them to fit the new world they were in. And so even though yes, they're 2 different games and I'm breaking the rules technically.
So we're
I
just
feel-
calling it N64 Zelda, Ian. So welcome back.
Really
but
upset
yeah,
with my
that-
son right now. I just
Well, you shouldn't be.
I didn't pick 5 games for my number 5.
Well, that's why
Place.
it's the Lord Beerstro audible. I mean, that's
That's a thing.
it has been a thing.
Has it?
It
Lord
just hasn't
Beerstro
been
had to
given a
ask
name.
about it, but all right.
Oh man.
But I personally didn't like Majora's Mask. I played a little bit of
didn't
it,
either.
and that's it. Yeah.
No, I loved it because it was just so different. I still enjoy it to this day. I just think it's
No, that's cool.
yeah. I just think they did a great job, kind of warping it, and that's what and I enjoy more of that dark flavor they added to it.
I blame your mother.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so Legend of
Anyway.
Zelda for nostalgic reasons, and Majora's Mask for the tone, for tonal reasons.
But I do
Something
Hey.
different for
Yeah, different.
for the era.
Hey, a Nintendo game.
So
Hey,
yeah,
Hey.
this is meant to be the
Listen,
top.
that's the first
5
one,
best
first
games, isn't
Nintendo
it?
game.
Not top 5 boring games.
Wow, he's catching a lot of strays for this one, John.
Oh,
All right, Ian.
bring them on. I'm still gonna play
my
this.
number 3 game is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
Having
saw that
never
coming.
played a game in this series, I wanted to try again. We talked about new experiences. I wanted to try
Even in
something
the
new.
genre.
Even in the genre, like turn-based RPG, D&D RPGs. I've never really played. I mean, I play turn-based games occasionally, but this one, I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna try something new. Really, obviously, was taken by quite a bit. Just the amount of player choice. I was just, and even as I read articles to this day, I'm like upset that I beat it already because there's so much other stuff going on, and I learned that there was this other character that I should have been in my party, but I never saw him for some reason. I don't know why I didn't see him. I feel like I need to. I don't know. There's just like so much.
What's that character's name?
Dude, I could not tell.
it's-
He's like
all
one of
right.
the main characters. He's like on the front page. He's the African American looking character. I'm forgetting what his
Huh.
name is. He's like in a big face. He's like
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like
Huh.
I always thought it was funny too because that was the image of the game, and it's like, oh, who's this character? I've never seen. Is that supposed to be like your created character or something? Reading on, I was
That's
like,
funny.
oh, this is a character you come across. I never came across him. Anyway, and then there's just so many different. I mean, you're hearing things about like people beating the game and speed runs, or people beating the game as a giant cat, like a kitty cat. And it's just like
Yeah, I
some crazy,
saw cats finishing the game.
just crazy stuff that you can do. That's just mind-boggling. And I know Jared's played it. I know he's looking possibly to play
yeah,
it
I
in
played
the future.
the 2-hour demo that PlayStation Premium allows, and
Right.
I enjoyed every.
I know
every
Dave
minute,
is thinking about picking it up. John, I think
Yeah,
you would
I
actually
looked at
probably
Dr.
dig it. I
Lion's
mean, you
game.
loved Disco Elysium. I mean, this is that, but it also has combat, and just the amount of player choice. It's just gnarly. It's just crazy. Yeah, there's so many things you can do, and I don't know. It's crazy. So, but aside from the player choice, just the game, well acted, great characters, music is awesome, looks great, runs great. I don't know, it's just super fun. I really enjoyed it. I think I put some 130 hours, 40 hours into it. That's my first run. I really want to go back and play it again. It's also crazy that you can play that game 4-player co-op. I would love to see how that fucking works. Like, that is just fucking
sounds like
like
a massacre.
a massacre, a mess, and it would probably take a
Yeah.
lifetime. I don't know. It just seems that is gnarly, and it's like the fact that they can account for that somehow seems just.
Yeah, that
So,
studio is very impressive.
It's a game I definitely want to. It's so fresh in my mind right now, but I do want to go back to it. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is a great game, and a lot of times these like Game of the Year games don't make it onto my God of War didn't make it on my list, or Ghost of Tsushima, or Spider-Man. These are all great fucking games, but like this game really left an impression on me, and it's also a sexy game. You can be naked, you can wear a swimsuit, it does a lot of cool stuff. This is all not modded. This is just all
You can have extended kisses.
kiss it. Oh, now you can, yeah. You
Oh,
can,
yeah,
you
they
can
added-
sleep. You can sleep around. You can have sex with a bear if you want. It's very open-minded.
Oh goodness.
So Baldur's Gate 3 is my number 3 choice. Jared, what's your number 2?
I like your link, Dave. My number 3, or my number 2, rather. So, as you guys probably know, one of my favorite genres is the Metroidvania
Yeah.
genre, and
No.
I've always had certain ones on my list, but there's been since games that have toppled over Super Metroid, and my favorite at this point is Hollow Knight.
Oh boy,
Ah, I didn't see that coming.
Ugh.
broken
I didn't see
record.
it coming.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
Hollow
game.
Knight.
I played it.
Well,
Actually, not that
I
bad.
almost threw Castlevania Symphony of the Night here because I played that very recently, the last year actually, and no, Hollow Knight is better than that. And
Throwing down the I love it. Throwing down
Yeah.
the gauntlet.
as much as I love Castlevania
Hot
Symphony
takes.
of the Night
Hot takes.
and Super Metroid, Hollow Knight takes all their cakes and makes more of them. It's like the moodiness, the atmosphere of everything. The music is top notch. Everything feels spot on. I can't pick anything wrong with this game. It's just such a perfect piece of game. It's a masterpiece. Absolutely.
go.
And
Eagerly awaiting the
I
DLC.
I wish I knew other people that liked this genre as much as I do, because it'd be fun to talk about Hollow Knight someday.
Yeah, most of us are just not into that kind of Metroidvania.
No, I
2D
don't
the
know
2D
anybody
style
else
anyway.
that's into the genre. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
man.
that's all I'm going to say about the game is everything is awesome, and not the Lego song.
Everything is awesome.
Oh, gosh.
Dave,
Number 2.
what is
There
your
you go.
number 2?
My number 2, probably be a bit of a surprise for you though, is the 2012 XCOM Enemy Unknown.
What?
Nice.
So
Get
yeah,
out.
that I'd like. Yeah,
XCOM.
I know.
I'm
you're
excited
like-
to see your number 1.
XCOM?
So yeah, I
It's
just
XCOM 2.
like, as much as I love the first one and
Mm-hmm.
this is the reboot, I own it on multiple systems and I've played
Mm-hmm.
it through multiple times and I still enjoy playing it through every once in a while. I just something about the turn-based mechanics, and especially when you get like really OP with, or you can try and play like close combat or play all snipers, or it's just a lot of fun. I really enjoy the game and I really enjoy the power-ups, and just thinking about this list made me want to
Well, it's procedural, isn't it? So it's different every time
Yeah.
you play.
Yeah, so it's
And that's like early, like before
Yeah,
like
and-
every game was doing procedural.
the difficulty. You don't have to save load too much on it, but there are some times when you do just get stuck. It can be a little difficult at times, but I just really like the game. I find
I
the
feel like
missions kind of relaxing.
I feel like way back in the day I asked this and I'm forgetting the answer now, but when you named us as characters in the game, what are any
We
of
all
us
died.
alive still, or are we all dead? Because don't you name your
think we all
You're all
characters?
hopeless. You
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
died pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure.
I should really, when I do this, what I should do is I should wait, because it randomly generates characters as well. So if you get a squad of 10, like there's only a couple that actually have decent stats. Some of them will have like shittier stats, and or at least the original one was like that. I can't remember if this one did that.
Because I remember playing
quite
it.
to
I
that
played it a
extent,
little
but-
bit, and I named you guys I'm like, and then you guys all died, and I just started naming characters porn stars because it's like, what? Who do I have a lot of names of after that? Anyway.
I think the trick is to like let them, because when you get a new guy, it's pretty random as to if they die. So once they get through a couple of missions and start to level up, that's when you should name them.
Right.
Because if you name them at the start, it's a bit of a random
Cannon fodder.
death fest. You got 10
Yeah.
guys, you're pretty guaranteed to lose 4 or 5 of them just randomly because they just don't have they're not powered
And you
up,
don't
they
want
don't have, like,
Ian
the second
2
shot,
and Ian
and-
3 and Ian
You might
4.
you might want Ian 69 though.
Oh, one's enough, yeah.
Nice.
XCOM, baby.
Yeah, XCOM, man, that's awesome. Nick, what's your number 2?
Peace. Nick, are you there?
Nick.
Oh, we froze.
No, I'm not having internet problems like the other.
I know
two.
you're just making fun of Dave.
Yeah,
Um,
They somehow
Yeah,
it got contagious. Jared had it, and now Dave has it.
my computer's hacking yours, Dave.
It said
And they're
ammo
attracted
dot.
to each other.
No,
What's a good deuce?
sorry. I had a list, and now it's like I think I'm gonna do
Uh-oh,
an
audible.
actual Lord Beerstraw audible, not a.
Supposed.
Yeah.
Oh, this is part of your off the air conversation where you couldn't pick one out of a series, isn't it?
No.
No.
It actually that probably covers most of my picks. Actually,
Yeah.
Just to, but I guess in kind of that same vein, I had an idea for number 2, and just kind of as we were going along, it's I think I'm going to go with a different pick. I think I'm going to go with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, now you're stomping
Wow.
on John's territory here.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
Shit,
Right.
bruh.
I'm gonna say that's probably
Yeah.
John's number one pick.
I saw that coming.
I was gonna bet the.
No,
bet
it
the
isn't.
I'm gonna bet
It
the
isn't.
farm.
Yeah.
But
It's
I-
not.
That was
Yeah.
that
No.
was.
Oh
no, it isn't.
shit!
But
Oh.
That was probably your number two.
it
though.
was
Wow. When did you play it?
Never.
Well,
he just he watched it on
Yeah.
YouTube once.
no, it looks great sitting there with the other games that I never play, but it's just like a standout. No, I got my PS4 like probably 2 or 3 months after Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and that was one of like the initial games that I bought. I played it, like I tried not to play it. I wanted to play some of the other games that I got because I knew I'd probably get sucked into it, and sure enough, I did. But I kind of purposely was not trying to beat it. Like it took me a year and a half to actually beat it, but that was kind of intentional. But
A long
it
game,
was-
anyways.
It is, but it was like I wanted to like, and I have trouble with some games like that where I want to experience everything. It's like I want to explore every corner. I want to try and get every quest done. I mean, even though there's games where it's if you choose like certain paths that kind of block you out from doing like some of the other stuff, and I don't know, but it was the other number two that I had, it kind of came down to just like something I'd never really considered, but just until just probably a few minutes ago, and it was just kind of emotion, like just kind of like how it kind of emotionally grabbed me,
Sweet.
not, and I mean the story is kind of emotional and stuff, but I mean it's but also it was kind of some external factors, like the fact that the pre-wife, like, just she enjoyed sitting down watching me playing, and just would
Nice.
comment on how much she loved the background and the just kind of like the certain areas of the country that I was in, and I would even find myself kind of gravitating towards those areas just because I preferred being in some of those areas versus being in some of the others, just because the visuals were so great.
What were some of those areas?
It's a pretty game.
Probably
It
more
is.
the like I didn't really care much for like the whatever their interpretation of the South was. I
Okay.
just like kind of hanging out more in the mountainous areas, like kind of the areas that I guess would mimic probably the Rockies, like probably like Wyoming and Colorado and Montana and stuff. But I mean, overall, I liked exploring every part of that game. But yeah, I mean, my other number two is going to be Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But I don't know. I think I just for pure emotion, I think Red Dead 2 gets the nod, just because.
Yeah, good choice.
And plus, I actually beat that game versus San Andreas. I didn't actually beat that
Oh,
one.
I beat San Andreas.
I got to a point to where because I was playing dirty, I kind of unlocked a glitch that prevented me from progressing any further, and so I kind of stopped
I always
playing
felt
it.
that was kind of it had a dumb kind of ending anyway. So, but
No, but I mean, it was just like the progression of that game from like Vice City and 3 it just felt so monumental, and just all the stuff that they crammed into that game that was still like a PS2 game. It just,
right
I don't know. I just thought it was a very impressive game.
now you can play it on your phone.
Yeah,
Me.
I think maybe I should dig it out and play it on this old PS2 that I have.
All right, well, Red Dead Redemption 2, number 2
Yeah.
for Nick to win.
Number 2.
Aaron, what do you have for your dos?
All right, my number 2 is going to be diving into the the RPG realm that is actually God of War, the 2018 God of War. One of the best.
Still poking the
Yes.
bear, Aaron. Still poking the bear.
Hey, they named it RPG, so I'm going with it. I'm running that train into the fucking gorge. It's the funnest RPG-ish now RPG series I've ever played. It's the first dozen I never want to play ever again after that. I was like done, beat them. God of War actually kind of made me want to. I actually never did that before, but when they released the New Game Plus, that was probably one of the games I ever did New Game Plus to. Actually, it was such a fun game, and the fact that they did a lot of that all in one shot or whatever it was, I can't remember what they called it, but it was. Not a lot of games did that, and also I liked how they didn't have typical load screens where it's like it cuts away and it's like the loading wheel. They just talked the entire time. That was kind of cool. I didn't even know when the cutscenes were happening half the time. They were that good. And of course, the graphics were amazing. The story was epic, I thought. And then just the battles just felt so intense. You just got into it half the time, especially when you fought Baldur towards the end of the game. And then Freya went to Psycho Mother Bear mode. And it was like, oh my god, this is a fucking good game. And it just felt more serious when it got ramped up to that point where Freya stepped in. It was like, holy fuck. But it was such a fantastically done game. And they just did an amazing job redoing Kratos as this more caring person versus like asshole Kratos. And the fact that they have an actual like weapons load up, health load up, move load up, and then you see the evolution of him being this like boy thing half the time to like actual caring dad. In a sense, yeah, of course he's the Spartan dad, but he's like a dad you can kind of like, okay, I see where he's coming from with why he's so frustrated, but it's still like
God of
okay.
War Redemption.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a fit.
I was actually thinking about this game the other day in regards. I was actually thinking about like God of War Ragnarok and the original God of War 2018, and like I really I enjoyed playing God of War Ragnarok more.
I did too. Oh,
But I think the story in God of War is better, obviously, and not.
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
But not because I just don't think Ragnarok has the moments. Like the story in both are fine, but the moments in the God of War 2018, like when he goes back to get the blades, or when you see the world serpent, those moments stick out still.
Yes.
Whereas
Yes.
the moments in Ragnarok, they're just not as monumental. They just don't stick in your head.
No, I forgot about half the moments too. Like the only thing I remember is the very, very end where Ragnarok happens to Asgard, and I'm like, that's all I can really, really remember. I mean, but like you said, the Blades of Chaos, the World Serpent, the introduction of all the other realms. Like you go to,
you know what? You know something crazy that I didn't know that I just learned the other day is that I was watching this stupid little video that if you threw your axe at the World Serpent, a life bar would pop up and it would turn at you like it becomes a boss. But it's like it doesn't really fight you unless you keep instigating it. But this massive life bar pops up. It's crazy. I was like, what? Because I never even thought about, because you talking to it, I never even thought about instigating a fight with it.
I never did either.
That's just funny.
I don't think I'd want. I don't think I'd
kind of did, but I kind of already figured how it would end.
Yeah,
I think Baldur is also just a more interesting character as someone who seeks Kratos out specifically to see if Kratos can cause him pain. And I think the character interaction in God of War is much stronger compared to God of War 2. I think Heimdall kind of fills Baldur's role, but he's still a lesser Baldur.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
really liked the Thor and his daughter and wife and all that. The
Yeah.
bar brawl scene, all that kind
Oh,
of
yeah, that
stuff
was
was
fun.
really
Yeah.
awesome.
That was
It
fun.
really great character development in that
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
But that shit
I,
just doesn't
I
stand out
agree
as
with
much.
the
Mhm.
the remarkable set pieces in the first one. It's just like because we'd never seen anything like it. The no cut camera was amazing, and that we'd
Voice
never seen
acting was
anything like
amazing,
that
too.
before. Yeah, so it's one of those ones that really sticks in your mind.
You missed
Right.
Jared. You were away though. Aaron doubled down on the fact that this is his RPG segment, and he's doubling
Yeah.
down on that. So
I like it. Well done,
There you
Aaron.
go. I'm going
I
with
dig
it.
it. Here-
All right.
Here's a fist bump.
That's it.
fist bump. All right, John. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Mario Party 2. And the reason it's Mario Party 2 is because that's been the
I don't even
one
know
game
you anymore.
Props
Hold
to
on.
you, mama. Props to you, sissy.
I've played the most with my younger sister and my mom. And that's why it's number 2. Because
Of course,
it's really
your
the only
mother.
game I play with
You've
my
never
family.
played with your dad.
No,
That's great.
No, he's never played. He's not interested. But my mom really she kind of just got into it and then became a tradition that when we
explains why
would,
she's so good at parallel parking.
yeah. So yeah, and Mario Party 2 obviously has its quirks. I mean, it is a dated game. I'm not saying in terms of gameplay or whatever, it's
number
a
2.
high
You broke your
high
dad.
value game, but
Maybe a
just the
5.
fact that I've spent a lot of time with my family playing that game makes it number 2.
For many years, even.
That's fair,
it's,
though.
Mario-
Yeah,
I get it.
tradition.
Mario Party games are a
I
lot of-
totally get that. Yeah,
That's what him and Sejoy are playing on their honeymoon.
yeah, I see that.
That is our
What's
honeymoon.
gonna happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
like,
Mario Party
Well,
games are a
here's
lot
the
of fun to
Switch.
bring
Happy
like
honeymoon.
even casual gamers or even not even necessarily gamers and it just everybody has fun with it. I mean, I'm with you, John. I mean, I love Mario Party games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to be talking about a lot of changes that are going to be made to the couch co-op after this for the future of the show. But until then,
it seems like
Whatever, I'll
modern
disappear again. So
Mario
bye.
Party games. It's almost like you're playing Shoots and Ladders or something like that, where it's like it's randomly
Oh, yeah.
generated winning. There's no skill involved because it rewards the people
Sometimes.
behind
Are you hearing
so
this, Dave?
much that they're going to win.
What? I fell asleep when they said Mario Party.
Yeah.
I died a little bit when I did it, as you could tell.
Oh, okay. Ian, what's your number 2? Yeah, what's your number 2? Number 2.
Sorry, John, you got me as a supporter.
no, it's fine.
So.
Hey, to each their own. You know, you got.
I got my family to support me. That's fine.
That's all I
need.
That's right.
There you go.
I like it. I'm with you, John. I dig it.
My number 2, it's already been mentioned once tonight by Jared. It is Elden Ring. This game blew. I was always very afraid to get into this genre, or I tried to get into it, but it was very unapproachable, or it felt unapproachable. And Elden Ring was almost unapproachable. I thought I was going to come up against it, and then I just stuck it out. And then there's just this massive paradigm shift, and this game just, I don't know, it's beautiful. The music's awesome. It plays really well. It looks fucking awesome. It's just one of the coolest things. But the other awesome thing about it is just how I felt playing it. The fact that I could overcome these bosses and the amount of pride in beating a boss that is super difficult in a game that I thought I couldn't do. And you see other people online struggling against a boss and you've beaten that boss. It makes you feel good. Like, I actually feel the fact that I soloed Melina. What is her name? I forget now.
Melania.
Something like that. You know,
Melania.
super awesome. Like, you know, I didn't need help. I did it by myself. I felt like, yes, I don't suck at video games. You know, I felt like a legitimate
fair
video
one.
game player. There's a lot. But you know it. Look, I don't know. You build your character. The game has this kind of simple story, but then also really deep. It's just very edgy. I don't know. It's just a super cool game. I love playing it. I would actually still be playing it. I would just, if there weren't other games. Like if it was like back in the day and I was a kid and this is the only game I had, I'd probably still be playing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that, but because we do a podcast and I buy games now whenever I want, there's just other games I'm playing. But I'm always like, oh, I just should download it and just play it.
So the funny thing about that whole genre is it's based around being able to parry, but I've still never successfully completed a parry in Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Elden Ring.
I think Dark Souls is more of the parry game. I mean, there definitely is parry in, but I think if you're a magic-based character or you're just dodge rolling, it's totally built around. And that's the other thing. You can get really creative with your builds. It's just cool. It's just
everybody has a different character. There's no perfect build for everyone. It's like your own. You make your own path.
And I get I'm one of the FromSoft, jump on, late to the party with Elden Ring,
Hey, the bandwagon's fun.
But I don't really care for Dark Souls or Demon Souls or,
Right.
I couldn't get into Bloodborne. But, man, there's something, Elden Ring just clicked for me. Really enjoyed it. And it kind of really changed a lot of things. I mean, for me, I just think about it and like, wow, what a game. And so, I had to, I think of it fondly. I think about it a lot more than I thought I would. And that's one of the reasons it's my number 2. So. All right, here we are, home stretch, number 1s. Jared, kick it off.
So my number 1 comes from being able to play this with anybody that I'm just like, hey, what do you want to do? And then we choose Tetris Effect.
Oh
my God!
Because you can play a lot of different modes.
Field.
You can
oh my God!
Against each other. You can play it in VR. I've shown off VR several times with Tetris Effect. I've played, even after beating the game multiple times, through the adventure, whatever mode. There's a mode where you can just like hang out, relax in VR, and just watch the things happen. The music tracks go on. It's like if I was to ever get high, this would be the game to like sit there and zone out to. And yeah, I know I can't because of the job line that I have.
That was Dave.
Yeah,
that was Dave again.
Yeah,
I knew that.
But yeah, Tetris Effect is the best version of Tetris, and I think Tetris belongs on a lot of different top lists. And it is absolutely my number 1.
Cool.
I've gotten to play a lot of it with my daughter. The original Tetris on Game Boy. I could never play my Game Boy because my parents were so into Tetris. Like Tetris has such a long history with me and my family, and now my kid, and probably my youngest daughter will start playing it when she's 5 in a few months. It's that game that is just always going to be there. And out of all the renditions of Tetris I've ever played, Tetris Effect is absolutely the best version of it and one of the best games. And end of story. I don't have to say anything else about it. It's so good. The last thing, the music in it's so good. I do need to say something else. My daughter actually requests the Connected song to be her wake up song when her alarm goes off.
That's cool. Does she know the name
The
of
music
it?
in the game is so good.
The track must have a name.
Connected.
Oh, it's just Connected? Oh, okay.
I mean, it has like some other words, but Tetris Effect Connected song. You can just look that up.
Main theme.
I can. No, it's like your. Here, I can find it real quick.
Uh-oh.
Tetris.
I opened a box of worms.
Tetris Effect.
Copyright strike.
Connected.
Get yourself connected.
Yours forever.
Writings on the
In
wall.
parentheses. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yours
connected. Yours forever. Yeah.
Well, you may
It's such a
follow.
wonderful, beautiful piece of music, and she always wants that as her alarm in the mornings because it's such a wonderful piece that's connected us.
All right.
Even
Tetris Effect. Jared's number 1. Dave, can you top that?
Yeah, my number one is I'm going to be really sad when this game goes away, and it is going to go away. But Rocket League is my number one game. I mean, I just played. It's what came out in 2015. and
You play
it's
the wheels off this motherfucker.
2024.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
played a lot
play the
of it.
wheels off it.
Yeah,
I
you
still
probably played
enjoy
the most of
doing the
it.
tournaments. I play it a couple of times a week. I play like 3 or 4 games at least a couple of times a week, and I just really enjoy playing it. And I'm not great at it. I still can't do the flying stuff. I've
Yeah.
never got the hang of that, but I just find it really satisfying and really frustrating at the same time. So
Have you ever given it any money?
no, I don't think I have, which is really
Wow.
bad
Yeah.
considering, I don't think I've ever bought a car on it because I just like the car I've got and I'm so used to it. And the hitboxes change when you change car, which would just, at this point now, like I say, 9 years later, it would just screw me up something rotten. So
I
I
think
don't
out
really
of
care
all
about
6 of
the
us, Ian's the only one
aesthetic.
that spent money on it.
Yeah, I think that's right because you've got the Batman,
I mean,
you've got
I've
the
played it quite a
DeLorean,
bit.
haven't
I
you?
have a
Mhm.
DeLorean. I have the Batman car. I have the Fast and the Furious Skyline. But they weren't very expensive. They're like $1.99.
No,
Cheap.
no. That's one of the things about it. And that's
They don't
my
even
only
really offer that anymore. Now it's like season pass stuff. They don't really offer like
Yeah.
just buy a car. They don't.
I think the sad thing is it will go away. I mean, I look at the player counts and
What's it down to?
it's not dying. I think there was about 40,000 on when
Oh,
I
that's
looked
pretty
the other
good,
day.
actually. That's not that
That's
bad.
Yeah,
still
it's not
pretty
too
good.
across like PlayStation and PC
Yeah.
and all the rest of the systems. But like any of these games, it does have a finite life, and it is coming up on. It's not quite a decade, but it's going to be coming up on that pretty soon. And
Well, now you can play their new racing game in Fortnite.
He's not going to do that.
nah, I'm not going to do that.
It is fun, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not
I
the
still
same.
haven't
But
tried it.
I'm about 400. I have about 400 hours into this game, according to the PlayStation, which is
Holy shit.
quite a lot for me. Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
like
I don't know how much
over
I
9
have.
years, it's not that much. And
That's not
'cause
bad.
Yeah, but I think I only.
Considering how much-
I think I have half that. I mean, you
Considering
clearly-
how much we played, like on
Mhm.
game night as well, and
Sure.
but yeah, I mean, I do play. I probably play at least 2 hours a week of it. But
Yeah,
that's my
great.
that's my game. Because
what do you
like
think?
I say,
What do you think keeps you around playing it? Like what about it?
it? I'm at that nice level not nice level where it's like it's still challenging, and it's satisfying when I have a really good game, but it's not that often I have a really good game.
Hmm.
You're
chasing
good-
something.
Yeah, I'm good enough. And to be quite honest, I like the weekly challenge. I like the season challenges. I just come back and actually I haven't logged in since the last lot dropped on Tuesday. Or I've logged in, but I wasn't paying attention to him because it's some Mandalorian thing.
It is
Which
crazy
I
that
don't-
Dave is like doing all this like free to play challenge stuff. Of all the people you would thought that would have done something like that, Dave would not have been the person I would have thought who would be doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's just sucked
Wasn't
me
it-
in. It's
Wasn't
like
it last week you mentioned something about needing to finish something
Yeah.
or start something by Valentine's Day?
yeah, well, not finish it. It was there's a new the last part of this season dropped having gone Valentine's Day.
Oh,
so,
okay. Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's in. He knows. He's in on that. He's dialed in on the season.
Yeah.
I don't think any of
Oh,
us
yeah.
deals with season. Maybe Jared a little bit on Destiny. I don't know. Maybe not.
Sky, Children of the Light, and
Oh, do you?
Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think
But yeah,
anyone
I-
else.
That's my There's very few games I can think of that I've played for this consistently for this long, and I still enjoy and actually switch it on. And sometimes that's the game I want to play. You know,
It's a great
That's
fucking
awesome.
game, dude. It's on my
Yeah.
list too. It's on the long list.
the honorable mentions.
The honorable mention, like it's like
It's 5 to the 5th.
it's like it's like next to the Destiny, the OG Destiny. Like it exists in that kind of like, man, so much fun, so much time wasted.
I think that's why it's like top of my list, though. It's like because I'm still playing it,
Right.
like, and I'm still interested in it, and it's 9 years later,
Hmm.
or getting on for eight and a bit years later. You know,
Cool. No, great choice.
Nick,
Also better than Tetris Connected. I'm just giving you a hard time.
yeah, if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to play Tetris or Rocket League?" I'd be like,
you
"Yeah."
pick Tetris. I know.
No, I'd just say yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
and they'd
That's
start
true.
one, and I'd be like, "Cool."
Nick DeWin, what's your number one? Give it to us.
New Vegas. Aaron, what's your number one?
All right.
You're not gonna even talk about it a little bit. You're just gonna say,
Nah.
"Oh, go check out our podcast." Our podcast
Oh.
with JPK.
No, I didn't
feel-
know you
feel
wanted me.
free.
I didn't know you
Of
wanted me
course.
to beat that dead horse, but
You can beat it a
go
little
for it,
bit.
man.
You can beat it a little
Talk
bit.
talk about the
Beat it
thing
a
that
Come
you
on, that's
love.
what this show's
That's
about.
all right.
We're celebrating
oh,
10
okay.
years
Yeah.
of being
Um,
gamers.
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably been one of like the best gaming experiences I ever had. Most memorable. It's kind of the experience I like to chase. Just if I'm gonna play a game, it would to have the feeling that I had playing that game.
How many times have you beat it or completed it?
I've only completed it twice, but it's kind of like the same like when I was talking about Red Dead Redemption, where it's I may play a single character, but I play it to death because I'm basically just trying to explore every nook and cranny to basically make sure I haven't missed anything.
Right.
Do
Do you play
and I
those
know
characters
there's, like-
differently? Do you play them differently, or do you always play about the same?
I try to, but I mean, I don't think I really have it in me to really play like a seriously bad character because
Right.
I've even done that in like Fallout 3 where it's like I'll play I'll get all the achievements for being a bad person, but then just and maybe it's the
Switch
game
back.
itself too. Well, it's like I don't even try, it just eventually happens.
Right.
Um
Born again.
and part of it I think like with Fallout 3 for example, it's like being bad is kind of limited. You kind of run out of bad things to do. Like there's only one area you can really align with if you're bad versus like if you're good, you have a lot more options. New Vegas is a little different. I've actually never done like the whole siding with the Legion. I mean, there's so many different endings to that game. As I've mentioned before, that I mean, I could try and go back and do them all, but I mean, it's
go for
going
it.
back through.
When's the last time you
maybe-
played it?
It's actually probably been about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh wow.
it's and it doesn't have anything to do with the game itself. It's just more kind of like the hardware that I like to use. It's unrelated to New Vegas itself, but it's kind of difficult for me to go back and actually do it just because of some hardware software issue.
You could just buy it on Xbox or PS3 or something.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm already conditioned to play with keyboard and mouse, so it's just and plus
Excuses. They're cool.
yeah, I know. I mean, you call them excuses, I call them superior reasons, but no. And then you also factor in the whole modding and console commands that I used to use just
So
I mean,
cheating.
well, not necessarily cheating, but just to
Assisting.
well, no, because
mods are funny, and you know this.
Yes, but this time around. Well, you love Fallout New Vegas, so I'm not.
Right.
I'll anyway.
But I mean, it's like the console commands I would use were ones that would extend the
Right.
like because the game caps out at a certain level.
Right.
I would use the console commands to just kind of extend the level out, so I'd still accumulate experience and stuff like that. And just so it kind of gave me a little bit more purpose and so on when I'm killing things. But just I don't know. It's like I've only gone through and beaten the game twice, but it's just like I go with these
It's your go.
depth.
It's your greatest of all time.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I mean, and even playing the second time, I felt like I was trying to chase the feeling that I got from the first time, which I know is almost impossible.
There you go.
But I don't know. It was just that first playthrough was just something else.
Cool.
I don't know if it was just where I was at in life, and this game just kind of
That's
came
okay.
in at the right time, and just everything. I don't know. It was just. I don't think
Everything is situational.
I guess so. I mean, it is a great game, but I mean, it also just hit at the right time too. So it's just
Cool. Aaron, what's your number one?
Something
Alright.
involving sexual torture a little bit.
Dave was waiting for
No.
that one.
Oh,
No. So before I
Aaron
say-
will be done with that someday.
Someday. But not
No.
today.
He's
No.
not done with that.
No, but no, I got to make this quick because my kid is not doing well. But anyway, so my number one is Mass Effect 2, and that is
Good.
probably one
Oh,
of the
that
yeah,
was the
good
that was
choice.
the correct answer then.
Yeah.
Something to do with sexual torture.
Uh-huh.
It's one of the
Sweet.
best. It's one of the best console games I've ever played because it was so nice. I bought it twice.
Someone say this is
Um,
one of the best RPGs ever made.
Yes. Yeah. I would. Yeah. No. It's definitely. It's better than God of War. It's definitely better than that. Just because. I mean, like I said, it was so nice. I bought it twice. It was just such a fun game. The first one. It's not good. It's
Good. It's decent.
I just I love playing through the intro of Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Getting
But then-
getting spaced and waking up. That's such a cool
Right.
segment. I
Right.
really
Yeah.
dig that. Yeah, just that intro
Yeah.
really hooks you, and then the game keeps going, and it just gets
Mhm.
better.
Yeah,
So
and the
good.
Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda are good, but it kind of 2 is like it's its own entity and it feels really good on its own. If you ever played any of them, definitely 2 is like the quintessential Mass Effect, I think. You can't skip 1 to go to 2 obviously, but 2 is like, all right, this is what it's worth. It's amazing. It's the best game one of the best games I've ever played.
I'm
Very
sure most people a lot of people ended up skipping 1 and going directly to 2 because a lot of people weren't able to play the first one on the console they had.
Right.
So Mass Effect 2 was their introduction.
True.
And you don't get to see your character until after you are spaced,
Mhm.
and you get to create your character after that point.
The funny
So it
thing
was
is,
a really interesting way that they developed.
the funny thing
I
is though,
thought.
is like after 1, it's like the game you beat the boss and it just ends.
Yeah.
And so like having come into Mass Effect 2 as my first game, it's like, what the fuck is happening? And then it explodes and like what the fuck? 1 must
Yeah.
have had like some crazy ending. Nope. No.
Nope.
It's not.
No. I feel like they did the ending.
No.
I feel like the beginning of Mass Effect 2 is clearly for the fact
ending.
that we're good. This is the beginning of the story, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like, here, we're gonna reset the whole thing, and then you get to create it over again. Like,
Exactly.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 2. My number 1, sorry. That's my number 1 is a number 2 of Mass Effect.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Do you remember what skills or what character type you liked the best?
The Vanguard. Always the
Vanguard.
Vanguard. Basically, it was like a Jedi with guns and no saber, but it was,
Yeah, I always needed biotics. Yeah.
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 It's essential in my opinion.
The
So,
1-2 punch.
exactly. Especially when you could throw them up and then push them.
Yeah.
But,
totally.
all right, guys.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, if you need to take off, take off. But thank you,
Yeah.
brother, for hanging
Yes.
out as long as you could.
Tell
of
your
course.
ladies, hey.
Happy birthday and
do.
anniversary, couch
happy
co-op
birthday,
member,
anniversary.
dude.
All the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We've been doing this a long time.
Word.
Go be a rad dad.
All right.
Will
Yeah.
do.
Rad Dad shirt. I like that
Yeah.
shirt.
Good night,
Yep.
brother. Take
Good
care.
night.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. I'll see you guys on Friday, most likely. So,
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Good night.
bye.
All right, John. Wrap her up. What's your
John.
number one? Bring her
My
home.
number one is Max Payne 2.
What?
Okay.
Oh, wow. What
Never
a
played
choice. I feel like that's left field.
So I've been a fan of the Max Payne series. I've played all 3 of them. Max Payne 2, I felt they did a great job of elevating the bullet time mechanic. I felt the story. It feels like it's a shorter game, but at the same time, it feels like it has less fat on it. Max Payne 1, it kind of starts to drag at the end. And they don't really introduce, they don't really introduce any other mechanics. So I feel like Max Payne 2 does a great job of kind of a good balance of keeping the game short, but you don't feel shortchanged on the story. And if you play the game on the hardest difficulty, so you have to play the game twice, you unlock a secret ending. So that was pretty cool.
Was there
and it's just
bloody baby crying in Max Payne 2?
No, that's Max Payne 1.
I know it's Max Payne 1. I just don't remember Max Payne 2 very well for some reason.
I think they used like the sound, but I don't think you get to see the bloody mess of your baby. But yeah, Mona Sachs was a good character, kind of an interesting foil to Max, and then Max having to juggle between his job, but also his love interest in Mona, but she's part of the underworld, so she's part of the crime. So they, and then the gameplay was just really great. And then it kind of shows more of how Remedy would go into kind of their extra world building stuff where you can turn TVs on, listening to answering machines, just kind of stuff that adds more texture to their
they've
world,
always had that.
interactive environment that didn't necessarily was important to the story they're trying to tell, but it just added more flavor and texture to the world they were building.
Yeah, I didn't know that's always been a part of their lore. Like I played Alan Wake this last year, and this like
Oh yeah,
all the TVs and all that stuff, it definitely added to whatever was going on. That's cool. Hey, if the rumors are true about Max Payne remakes, I might
they're
look into
confirmed.
that. They
They're
are
They're
confirmed.
confirmed. They're already, and they're also going to remake Max Payne 2. Apparently, Alan Wake 2
hasn't
made
made a
them boot-
dime.
Well, I saw an article that said it was making them buku bucks. That it's like accelerating the pace of these games. Their remakes they're coming out with, because they're doing a Control sequel, obviously, but they're also going to remake Max Payne 1 and 2, from what I was seeing.
Huh.
I remember the first Max Payne pretty well. I know I played and beat Max Payne 2, but man, I do not remember it.
I've never played any of them.
Huh. Oh, man. That's the originator of bullet time, baby. In a video game.
I never got into it. I just didn't.
Yeah, I think
I
I've
mean,
played
they're
it.
like
Played it briefly.
Oh,
cheap
that
to
first
pick up at this
I
point.
mean,
If you had
I'll
console, I'd play 'em.
I'll take John's. The 2's better, but man, Mass Payne 1 does live in my head as like just being super fun, just like busting through doors and just hitting slow mo and shooting guys. I just remember just going out of my way to just always do that, like just action.
Well, I know I
scene.
can buy
You like
Star
back and
Wars
forth.
Battlefront 2 on the original Xbox for my Series S. I bet I can buy Max Payne.
Probably.
I'd play it on the PC. It's kind of I played Max Payne 1 on the console, and it's just kind of clunky.
Oh, 1
to
works
play
fine.
with.
2 was the
Yeah.
one that didn't work very well.
Okay.
It had issues at launch for sure. I don't know if they ever fixed them. But
Well, I think 2 was another one of those like Xbox and Xbox 360 games, and it was on the
Oh.
PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3.
I mean, I made it
Okay.
through, so it wasn't totally awful.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, that's a long
Huh.
time ago. It'd be hard to say what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
Before I get to mine, I just want to shout out. We got
This is our commercial break.
no. We got a Wild Chaser 333
Oh, hey.
saying congratulations on 10 years, boys.
Thanks, Ryan.
So, thank you,
Thank you.
Ryan. Thanks for the shout
Yeah.
out. He'll
Just
be
10
at
more.
he'll be at the show Friday.
Cool.
He's coming up, so that's cool.
Hmm.
Him and his wife actually gonna come
That's
hang out and
great.
have some fun.
Yeah, it'll be awesome to see him.
Anyway, my number one, obviously, it's
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, it's no Metal Gear Solid. I really, I had that kind of same thought about like, is this a game that's old and I shouldn't care and blah blah blah, or has it not stood the test of time? I had all those questions. Should it even be on this list anymore? Because a lot of my games left the list. Gran Turismo left the list. Skyrim left the list. Like
I was surprised about Skyrim.
well,
Yeah.
I ultimately decided that like I spent 130 hours, 50 hours in Skyrim, but my 1,000 hours in Skyrim is because of modding, and I wanted games to stand on their own.
Yeah.
So like
good point.
I didn't want modded supported games to be my favorite game unless we were doing a modded game thing. So Skyrim got pushed down. It's like it's a great
I
game,
get it.
but it doesn't hold a candle to fucking Baldur's Gate or Elden Ring, as a game. So
Yeah.
but Metal Gear Solid 2, I did go back. I have a PS3 right here. I can turn it on and play it whenever I want.
Nice.
And all it takes is to like start that first, that freighter tanker scene with Snake. And I know the camera's still a little weird and everything, but the game looks super crisp and clean. He's awesome. It's just
that
the
Harrier?
music is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like just moving around in the first little few levels and going through the doors. Just like, nah, this game sits in my heart. I mean, and everything that me and this game have been through, I've talked about it on multiple shows. I think there's an episode. I don't know what episode it is, but I talk about the whole thing about the game.
So Ian,
But yes,
you could play it on your Switch.
I'm not gonna play it on Switch. I'm gonna buy the collection at some point.
He's
Get
not
some,
going to
like-
spoil a good game.
Yeah, I'm
for
not
Yeah,
him.
gonna-
yeah.
yeah. Why would you wanna
could play it on
fuck
your
with a
Switch
good
for
game?
$40.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy it on the
For a real
PS5
console.
for $40. Anyway, I actually thought about buying it, like just fucking buying it, like doing it. But just like, nah, let's just be responsible for right now. It'll come down in price, and then I'll pick it up. I am definitely gonna pick it up for the PS4 and PS5 when I'll get the collection
And
at some
Switch.
point. No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking get it for the Switch, Jared. Jesus Christ, that's a dead console. But no, this game lives rent free
Even if it's
in my
in
heart.
4K?
No, this game lives rent free in my heart. I love this game with my whole heart. It's the game that got me back into video games hardcore. I think it's flawless. I love the absurdity and just the craziness of it. I've played this game. I don't even have enough fingers and toes to count how many times I played this game through. So Metal Gear Solid 2, still my favorite game of all time. I don't think it's ever going to be dethroned. So,
That's great.
Nice.
all right, we did it.
We made it
We did an
through.
epic episode too. We did a 2-hour episode. We haven't done this in forever.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John's
Metal Gear
been
Solid
yawning
2 was
pretty
on my
hardcore.
short
I know
list.
everyone's been yawning. Dave's been yawning. John's
Yeah.
been yawning. I mean, Nick and I are drunk,
I
and
think
I don't know.
I-
Jared's probably fine.
I don't know.
Jared stays up late.
Okay.
We got to talk about the future of Couch Co-op. This is the last episode. We won't be recording after this.
Yeah, nice man, y'all.
It's like, peace out.
Yeah, late.
No, I think we're going along at a pretty good clip. I think we're gonna stick around for a little while longer. I think
Yeah.
we're all happy, having a good time. It's nice to have Nick back for this episode anyway. I know he's
Yeah, it's awesome.
it sucks that he can't always be with us, but it's cool that he was able to come in for the anniversary episode. Means a lot. Thank you, Nick. Holiday tomorrow.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any Monday holiday, Nick might be able to join us.
Little Terror just dropped in. He says, "Yo!" So Little Terror, we hung out with at the USEF Super Stream today. We had a lot of fun with him, dancing and playing games and
Yep.
good times. So thanks for popping in, Little Terror. It means a lot. But yeah, I think we're going at a pretty good clip. I don't know. I think the shows are fun, and I think we just hang out and have a good time. I do think there's gonna come a time when we're just done, but I don't think
Today is not that day.
I don't think today is not that day. Yeah, I don't know. You guys have thoughts on how long we should keep going?
No. I mean, we're all still.
Hey, Ian, if
Playing
you're still
games,
Ian, if you're
whatever.
still alive and doing all the work, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So keep living. Yeah. Yeah.
We all have to drink a beer or like, whoever has a beer, because little Terry just dropped the bits and he says, "Beer me," and you have to take a drink of beer. So
Yeah. Cheers.
Coming at you.
Oh,
little Terry says 69,420 years. That's how much longer we have to do this show. So that sounds like a
dang.
prison sentence.
Well,
See, like-
as
like
Dave and I were
frozen
mentioning
brains
earlier,
in
is
it, so-
AI has enough
Oh, yeah.
information on us. They could do the episodes for us for that long.
Yeah, you could just like take a couple of our take like 5 of our episodes, mix them in a blender AI, and then like, it pops out another episode.
Yeah, no worries.
Beer blender?
The best RPGs are God of War,
God of War.
2018. Oh, I love you, Aaron. But yeah,
I thought
My-
JPK was gonna say something like that.
Holy shit. Pretty funny though. Oh man, this has been a fun run with you guys. I know, we've been doing this a long fucking time. We've had ups and downs. Some of you
Some
have
of us
left
haven't
and come
been there
back.
the whole ride.
And left some rights, yeah.
But it's been fun, man. Can you believe it? Like 10 years of content we have created on the internet. This is like crazy.
That's a lot of hours. That'd be
I would
interesting to
consume
math
still
up
bullshit
the
for that.
total.
Yeah, just us, just bullshit.com.
Yeah, math up the total amount of hours that we've conversed with each other.
But even just the not even that, then also the show, the video show, and just
Mhm.
other random shit that we've done.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, man. Like we're a band. We're a merry band of fools.
Yeah, you've talked about
Oh,
doing the
that.
band photos.
We should do something, but we're just it's cool.
And we're so great that you even have like a small soundboard of
Oh, I know,
stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative that you guys are down to do it, and we keep doing it. And it's cool. It's fun. I don't know. Anyway, and if anyone else has anything else to say, now's the time. If not, forever hold your peace.
Couch co-op.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Oh, I love having you. I love having all you guys.
10 more years. 10 more years.
yeah, why not? Yeah, screw it. Let's keep going.
First person that gets cancer, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
We're all
me.
aging old
Cancer
men.
episode. That'll be fun.
Hey, you know what? I'm thinking. So, I've been in a few retirement communities, and they've always got like either videos.
What are you doing in
or
retirement
some
communities, Nick?
Dating.
Like when I deli-
Dating?
dating.
Does your
I
pre-wife know?
delivered a
Does the
retirement
pre-wife know?
communities. They
She
go
doesn't
through a
know.
lot of wine, man.
Okay, I'm glad Jared knows partially what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, but I've also been there
They
delivering.
go through a
events,
lot
too.
of wine?
They do.
They do.
Holy
So,
shit. I don't know. This is a dark,
Yeah, there's a-
dark side of old folks' homes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's a place in the West Hills, and there's also one in Charbonneau.
There's one in
but,
Vancouver.
Okay, so it's anyway. So they always have like event nights, and it's always like movies.
They should have Couch Co-op speak
Shit.
live.
Do they still play the Wii? Are they bowling?
I mean, we do a podcast.
So I'm looking towards the future. I'm looking
Little
towards, like,
Tara says they fuck a lot too.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, I don't think
Disease,
he's wrong
baby.
on that either.
I don't think he's wrong about that. There's so much
No,
Viagra out
he's not.
there. Wine and Viagra night.
But I'm thinking more like old people LAN parties in like 20 years.
Us?
Hey Nick,
Yeah.
could you? Tara says, could you go check and see if they still fuck a lot? Like maybe you could find out for us because like
A
that might
test
be
market.
that might be yeah, find a way in.
Yeah, there's a nightmare I need in my life.
All right, let's okay. Before we get out of here, there's one last thing I want to do. We're not doing couch co-optionals, but there is a couch co-optional thing that I need to share. You guys already know about, but like the listeners, people that watch this, I am a filmmaker. Been a struggling independent filmmaker for a very long time. My first feature film with my co-director and producing partner Monty Wolf, we premiered it last spring. We just got picked up for distribution. It's available on Amazon Prime and Vimeo and a couple other smaller streaming places, but really just Amazon Prime and Vimeo. You can buy or rent the film. We are super proud that our film is out for everyone to see. Like it's one thing to be a filmmaker and say, "Oh, well, you can go check my stuff out on YouTube," but no one wants to do that. It's not really legitimate. So when you're on like one of the big streaming, systems, platforms, it's just kind of cool that my film's out there, and so anyone in the world can go check out my movie now. The film is called The Exploding Boy, and it's on Amazon Prime or Vimeo. So yeah, we would really appreciate it if you could check it out, support us. Would mean a lot to indie filmmaking, and to whatever future kind of projects that Monty and I work on together. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. This is my podcast, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I want to get this out there. If people have made it this far into the show, people might have bailed at the fucking
the intro, man. They're gone.
They were like, "Oh, this show is still going."
Yeah. Oh man.
So.
Oh, Nick's talking about Fallout New Vegas. I'm out.
Not Red Dead
Hollow Knight
Redemption
again?
Ugh. No. No, but yeah.
Silk Song come out yet?
Go support my movie. Would mean a lot. It's super cool. Anyway, we appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. It
And
was an
after you watch
enjoyable
it-
movie. Yes.
After you watch that movie, there might be a bar on 15th and Prescott that you need to go drop off a bunch of breathe-right strips too. I know
Oh
I
yeah,
can-
yeah. You go. We get. So one of the actors is our good friend Brad Stevens. He has a
Oh,
bar.
don't spoil it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But he has a bar called Sirius PDX. And it's a really cool bar. Great food, cool drinks.
And he's really nice
yeah.
in real life.
Yeah,
not
he's
like
not
a
a
movie.
dick
Yeah.
like he is in the movie.
He's a solid guy. Yeah.
But Sirius PDX Portland, it's fucking awesome place. Anyway, all right.
Because I don't think he ever got his breathe-right strips, though. if I remember
Well,
correctly. I don't
I
know.
like how you. That's what you clung on. Of all the things, you clung to that. That's great.
Well,
I love
that's
it.
that's more proof that I just wanted that to show that I
Most
actually
people
watched the
love
movie.
the aerobics instructor. Or
Yes.
the gym guy. That's like the guy that's
Well-
the character that most people cling to. So
But because I know Brad, I know he has this bar, and this is just an idea. It's just to a way to-
I see. Nick is trying to get people, listeners who are in Portland, to just buy a box of Breeze strips and to deliver them to the bar as a fucking joke.
to-
Just like
Yeah,
drop them
basically,
off and
just
leave.
to-
Just
well, I mean, it's more
Thank
fun
Brad
if
for
they've
his
actually
acting
seen-
talent.
And basically, it's just like, hey, it's. I guess maybe it's more of a recognition of the fact that
are there two
Hey, we
E's or there one
recognize
E
that-
in Cirrus? Sirius or Cirrus?
it's CEREUS
Yeah, okay.
PDX.
PDX.
But
On Instagram.
It's a great
I don't know.
fucking bar,
I
dude.
just, in my idea or in my mind, the idea was just like it'd be like one of those things like.
Hey, you know what?
something to
Go to
connect
the bar.
actors.
Don't bring Breeze
Yeah.
strips. Go to the bar and just say, "Hey, give me the couch co-op discount."
He might look at you funny, but be like, "Oh, okay."
And he might charge you double. That's the discount. I don't know. It's a co-op. Double.
Yeah. He'll give you the Ian special. Watch out for that.
Watch out for that.
one beer for the price of two.
Anyway. All right, we should get out of here. All right. Man, it's been a pleasure, guys. You know what's funny? Like, this is 10 years, but like I think at the end of March we hit 400 episodes. So that'll be another
Nice.
little small celebration we'll do. But this is the big one. This is the 10 years. I want to thank you all for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com or find us on all our socials at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. I want to thank Jared, Dave, Nick, John, and Aaron, who was here but had to leave, for joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
Old stallions.
Nice.
Douchebags! Couch Co-op!